Gee, Steve, what are we going to do tonight?
Same thing we do every podcast. Tell him how we sees it.
Here we go. It's a very special episode of How We Sees It. We're covering episode 85, and we're doing our brewery spotlight.
85, wait.
285.
285, yeah.
Yeah,
Okay.
285. I misread it. I hadn't even had a beer yet. We're going to do a brewery spotlight on Old CAZ Brewery out of Roanoke Park, is what they're officially going by now, right?
Roanoke Park, yeah.
I was going to say, you never know where the city lines stop around there and who's who and who's where and what's what. So, but yeah, they had one location that a little tiny location in an industrial area, and recently moved into a super nice. What's that area called? It's
Sonoma Mountain Village.
Sonoma. Okay.
Yeah.
Really, really nice spot now.
Yeah.
Huge inside, outside kind of area to hang out. I think they have the swinging up doors, so it kind of can be
roll up doors. Yep.
Doors. It's nice. Really like that. Old CAZ also. I know. One of my favorite times to see these is when we go to the hockey games, and they happen to be the sponsor of the Growlers, and like get a good beer while we're at the hockey game. So we're going to cover this. Is our brewery spotlight. We've done our big beer podcast where we basically try and get I don't know if we've ever been below 10. We had
beers.
Yeah, on the.
I think it was 13, right?
13 last time.
Are you talking about percentage or?
Well, I was talking
you
about
have to be 10%.
Quantity and quality. So yeah, but I think we were at 13 last year. We were at 12 before. Yeah. I don't think we've ever been below 10 triples.
And those are hard podcasts because it's hard to get out on the other end, with your sanity after drinking, because those are all triples.
Yeah.
Right. 10%ers.
Yeah. And a lot of them are hitting in that 11 and stuff like that too. So,
what was it? Mount Nelson?
Mount
Triple Nelson.
Mount Triple Nelson. I still have
Cellar Maker. I looked for it today.
I still think about it.
I was looking because they do that in a single. They do that in a single and a double. Yeah. The Mount Nelson.
Really?
And so from Cellar Maker, I was looking for that when I got one of the 4-packs we got this time at our one of our local bottle barn.
And they didn't have them?
No, they didn't have it. So I'll find it. It's close.
Okay.
It'll be somewhere. We'll get it. I'm Noah, your main host, and with me as always, my main man, Steve.
Across the table.
Across the table.
Yep, at the new compound where we're podcasting. This is where Noah always podcasts from I'm assuming, right over there, right?
Yes, right over there.
Right over there. But now we've all gathered in the same place.
It's a great visual for the podcast, too, is right over
for those
there.
watching on the live stream.
Yeah.
All, us.
We'll be on it.
And with us back, who I think you guys have been on every single one that we've done of the Big Beer
for
podcast.
Sure.
Yeah. Was Seth not part of the first one?
He wasn't a part of the first beer podcast we did when we did the pairings. There was two or three when we did those. But all the triple ones, I think you've been on.
The first one I did was when we did the hen house spotlight.
I guess I could scoop one.
Yeah, we did do a hen house spotlight. We did do that one. But yeah, I'm not sure.
I hope that picks
the cow. Just
the cow.
Yeah.
We're in the country.
We are in the country, that's for sure. But you, my daughter, Sierra, is with us. She's been on almost all of our beer podcasts, and Seth's been with us, and it's the fiancé now. I think that got announced in one of those, didn't that? Or was it just boyfriend?
I was announced as the boyfriend on the first one.
Yeah.
Right.
But I think our last one you were announced as
that was the debut.
It was announced.
Yeah.
Yep. I think that's why the ratings they just skyrocketed. People went,
This guy's sticking around?
Yeah.
We gotta listen.
We love a plot. We love the plot.
Well, that's why you drink triples. We had to celebrate somehow.
Exactly.
Can't celebrate with single IPAs for an announcement like that.
No.
Nice. And your father joined us. I think you joined us on our last one.
And the one before.
And the one before, okay.
Yeah.
They're just starting to roll into each other. So much fun.
Yes.
It's kind of like sometimes I forget where one stops and the others begin.
Yeah.
A lot of fun. And you're back, Mike. Glad to have you. Marley couldn't join us. She's off doing something very important. So she wasn't able to get back to Sonoma County. But we found a perfect fill-in, Kinsey.
Here I am.
Basically, we sat out. Sierra, you got any other friends that like beer?
Easy selection.
I asked one, and here we are.
That was it. That's all it took. One request, and we're on it. Nice. Okay. So what we're going to do is we're going to go through. We got 10 beers from Old CAZ, a wide selection. So we got a lot of different beers. There was one that they had at Bottle Barn, and I was about to get it, and it was a chocolate stout, and I was just like,
From Old CAZ?
yeah.
Oh.
And I was like,
shocked you didn't.
well, the reason I didn't, I was like, man, if we're gonna be drinking a bunch of IPAs and
You won't be able to taste anything.
Yeah,
after
and, like,
that.
it's just-
it would have to be
it's-
the last one of the night.
it either has to be the first or the last, and
Yeah.
who knows what that would do to everything. So I was kind of like,
Yeah.
we'll give it a shot later on. I think.
Do you have it?
No.
Oh, okay.
I was grabbing a bunch of other stuff at the time, but I went, oh no, I'm not gonna get a stout. Nope, that's not the right one. But it does show that they have a wide variety, and we'll get through some of the ones that we have today. There's 10 different beers. I don't know which one we're going to hit first. We're just going to reach into the magic cooler and find out what we pull out.
Ooh,
I'm so ready for that.
I'm tingling.
Sound.
Dun dun dun.
I think you should make a special sound for when the beer is being pulled out, like a magical.
You're referring to me.
Yeah, 'cause you make sounds.
The people watching I know
Oh.
that you're looking at me, but the listeners don't.
Oh, I thought the live stream knew what was going on.
Yeah, Sierra's looking at Steve.
Yeah. Well, Steve is our magic man with
Yeah.
the stuff that he does.
You mean like with editing, like throw in an edited sound?
We don't edit.
But see, no, this is a Noah production today. Whenever we do the live setups, which are all the beer podcasts, it's a Noah production. He's
Okay,
the one who puts them
okay.
together, so I can't edit this one. I take no responsibility.
Okay.
All right, so first one we pulled out, nice, beautiful red can. Very, very simple but classic can art, right? It's just red with white letters. This is RPX, a juicy pale ale. 6% alcohol volume, 35 IBUs. Go ahead if you want to read the back.
Sure. For anyone visiting Old CAZ Beer, there's a good chance you got there via Roanoke Park Expressway. Lined with towering redwoods, RPX is the main thoroughfare in Roanoke Park. For the new SSU students, RPX becomes the landmark road as they traverse from Highway 101 to campus. In 2007, our founders, Tom and Brian, made that very journey. Since then, RPX has been a constant route for life, school, work, and eventually delivering beer. RPX Ale is a smooth, easygoing, effective, just like the namesake. Scratch your hop itch without committing to the higher ABV of a classic IPA with Simcoe,
Amarillo.
and Citra hops.
Yeah.
This is an Old CAZ like staple. RPX.
Sierra, do you watch White Lotus?
Yes.
So the sound effect from the music would be a good thing to like drop in every time you reached into.
That'd be so good.
That'd be a good one.
Yeah, that'd be iconic.
It would.
Such a pretty color.
Yes.
It is.
Yeah, it's got a. It's definitely a hazy. You're not seeing through this, so it's not clear. It's got a kind of golden yellow color, not quite lemon juice, like a little bit on the lighter side of that. Mine came out. I mean, we're only pouring little 4-ounce samplers here, but mine came out with a nice little head on it. So
Yeah.
maybe it's just the pour I got it. Yeah, Sierra got one too. So
Mine's got bubbles.
Oh, mine doesn't have bubbles.
right away you get a hint of that citrus and tropical
Oh,
off the smell.
absolutely.
The nose feel on this is really good.
I like it.
Yep.
It's a good beer.
It seems like you should something you drink if you have a cold to get better. It's like the vitamin C. It seems like it should have a lot of vitamin C in it.
Let's describe Alyssa's face as she takes a sip.
And
And
yeah,
The
not
one shoulder
quite the full
shrug.
bitter beer face, but Close.
It's a little chalky. It kind of has a medicinal, almost like Alka-Seltzer, like you throw it in. I'm not-
That's like if you're
To me,
sick.
that's-
This is what you have when you're sick.
Yeah.
That's the carbonation, I believe, in this. It's kind of got a high carbonation, so the mouthfeel is a little sharp, and I think that's what you're seeing. In
I like the nose more than I like the mouthfeel.
taste.
Have you guys all had? I've had RPX countless times. Has everyone here had it before?
This is kind of a go-to at the hockey
I
game.
have not.
You have?
I really like it.
Yeah, it's
You've
really
not
good.
had it before?
No, because I go to Old CAZ and drink their sours every time.
Oh, really?
I'm
had their
a
sour
sours
back then.
purist.
It was good.
I love an
surprised.
IPA, but I love a good sour. But this is really good.
Yeah.
I would
Any
order
of their
this.
sours in bottles or in cans.
Cans.
I would have got it if they had it.
I did see one. Might have been at Safeway because local here that's one of the ones they carry, and I do remember seeing one of their sours. But I was also much like the stout. I was like, a sour is not a good mix in when you've got multiple beers that are going to be slightly different in the hazy, the IPA. We got the Mexican lager and some others.
I have to say, this is so different. I'm used to drinking triple IPAs on this, and I'm seriously, I'm drinking this. It's like, yeah,
I could do that.
yeah.
I know you're
but-
like it's like I want to pour more.
yeah, because like,
Feel free. I mean,
Yeah,
we've
no,
got two
I'm-
cans to
I'm
share
good.
between
I'm good.
six
But-
of us. So
it's I'll wait for more. I like it, but I seem to like it more there. When you're there, it seems like it tastes different.
off the keg. That's
Yeah.
almost typical in almost every beer you're ever
Yeah.
going to get. Something
Yeah.
about fresh off a tap tastes just a little fresher, just a little different.
Yeah.
And it's been that way probably 95% of the times I've ever had beer that I've had in can and beer that I've had from the keg, fresh off the tap. It just seems to taste better. And maybe it's because of atmosphere, experience. I don't know.
I think one of our first beer podcasts, we actually went to Fog Belt, set about, on one of the tables.
Yep.
And so we were getting it right off the tap for that.
Yeah, that was when we did the tasting, the pairings.
Where
were
they were
great.
pairing food.
So
yeah.
speaking of pairing, that's one of the things we do on this podcast is we pair drinks to whatever it is we're watching typically. Well, this time we're doing drinks. So I'm going to throw this out to you guys. I was going to put this out earlier and I thought of it just before you guys got here. So who could think of a movie or a show that this beer would go good with?
I was trying to think of food.
Oh, I've got one. It's
Just
gotta
throw it out
be. It's
there.
gotta be like an airplane movie because I've always thought like RPX. If Roanoke Park had an airport, it would be RPX.
Nice.
So
Oh.
I'm thinking like
And I'd be there.
some sort of yeah. And is there an RPX like that you're aware of, like the name code? 'Cause,
No.
Like, sometimes airports have the most random.
Right.
Not a lot of
Right.
X's in the aviation
Okay.
world.
So RPX is going to be Roanoke Park's airport.
Nice. All right. So the movie would probably be Airplane
Like
or Soul
that movie,
Plane.
Did you see that movie? Is it Terminal?
Terminal?
That
Oh,
like
with-
Christmas movie?
With Tom Hanks?
No.
No, Terminal.
What was it?
Yeah,
Or
that is Tom Hanks, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's the TSA agent. It just came out.
Oh yeah, we saw that. We did see that.
What was
and
it
it's
called?
got Jason.
Yeah, Jason Bateman.
That
Bateman
Christmas
in it.
one?
Yeah.
Yeah, what was it called?
I don't know.
That's the movie that this beer is.
No.
There you go.
Yeah.
Okay.
I need a beach.
That happens at LAX. So.
Sierra's going to beach.
There needs to be beach. I'm like Lilo and Stitch.
Okay. Yeah, cool for the situation.
The live
Like-
action.
Oh, hang on.
The new live action, not
Yeah.
sponsored, but that's just what came into my head right now. Like, I don't know, one of those Adam Sandler, whatever those other
50
guys.
First
Just
Dates.
go
50,
so,
yeah, just go with it. 50 First Dates. This is what
50
they're.
First Date's one of my favorite movies. of all time.
Iconic.
That's what they're drinking. That's what I'm thinking about with
I
this.
agree with that. I could see that. That works.
I didn't
I
think.
just got a picture of Laugh Olympics in my head from when I was a kid. The cartoons with all the
Yeah.
Hanna-Barbera characters, and there was the dog that laughs.
Oh, no, he hung out with Snidely. Yeah, him.
Oh yeah. Okay, I've actually got the show that actually mixes Lost. It's got airplane. It's got beach. So there we
This
go.
is what they're dreaming of
This
on
is-
the
yeah,
island.
They wish they had.
Oh,
Maybe
man,
Survivor.
Yeah,
You
maybe
can only bring
Survivor.
one thing with you on a deserted island.
RPX.
RPX, and that's
Case
it.
of RPX.
Yeah.
All
The movie
right.
I was looking at was Carry On.
Carry on. That's
I knew
it.
it had to do with the suitcase, but I knew it wasn't called the suitcase.
All right, here we
I want
go.
to try something here. Hold on.
We're gonna reach into the magic.
This is not going to go well.
Oh, okay.
Oh, I was waiting for like a fart noise or
All right.
so many things.
So this is. Oh, how did I get two? All right.
It did kind kind of have a fart
that's why
sound to it. But
yeah.
It's actually the creaking.
I don't know how that came through. It was supposed to be a creaking door for those listening at home.
You'll hear it every time he reaches in. Ooh.
Okay, here we go.
Wow.
Next one. Hazy Nebula.
Beautiful.
This is
the cans
if you
are
can't
10.
get from the name, a Hazy IPA. We're now at a 7.5 ABV with a 40 IBUs. This is one of their newer ones.
Dad's thing.
Well, you handed it to
You
me.
just cracked the beer.
But
That's okay, but you got to do it right into the mic. So
Yeah, I didn't
we'll
do-
get in the mic one.
Oh.
Premature
Cheers, pours all
ejaculation.
head as punishment. As punishment for her sin.
But then you made me laugh, so I couldn't suck it.
Okay.
Whoa, hey, now this is a family show.
Go on.
No, it's
this
not.
is
Go on.
Well, you didn't get any head. I'm sorry.
Me too. My husband's out of town.
All right, so back to the beer.
I can share.
This is the Hazy Nebula.
People like that.
This doesn't have anything written on the back of the can.
we don't need it.
Sierra and I just made our own
Yeah.
You know what would be kind of funny? Is
Two ladies, one hand.
Wasn't Nebula a character in what?
In
Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
So
Good pull.
I can't drink it.
All right, so here's what I did find off of their Instagram account. A true deep cut from the vault of is returning today, Hazy Nebula. We brewed this beer for San Francisco Beer Week way back when it was way back when, and it has always been requested as something we should bring back into rotation. Brewed with 100% of big word malt, proximity malt, pale ale malt. This hazy IPA finishes with a little more body and fuller mouthfeel, and is exactly what we were after when we were loading this beer with Galaxy and Kush and HBC 586. An excellent and brilliantly hazy tropical beer with notes of peach, passion fruit, perfect combination, and to the wonderful eats they have at their
Steve is smiling ear to ear.
I'm smiling because I like how it intersects that bitterness and the tropicalness. I mean,
Yeah.
it's kind of like they both kind of hit. You got the
It's not too bitter.
yeah, but it's enough to where it's just not thrown out the window.
This is
And
excellent.
I like it.
I have not had this beer of theirs, and it's from what I remember, it's not a beer that I've had.
It's good.
It's not like any other beers they have. It's definitely a little more dank, and the Citra Forward is pretty like them, but it's that sort of bitterness, that dankness. I think maybe from those Galaxy
The only
hops or whatever.
thing
Yep.
I don't like the aftertaste. It feels like someone just puffed.
It's dry.
Yeah, that too. I just
Kinda
feel like
lemon rind.
more like weed,
Oh,
Huh.
which I
Seth said it was dank.
yeah. I feel like it's someone just like puffed and I just walked through and I'm like, and
gotcha. Well,
Got
I mean,
me.
that's where the dank word comes from, I think.
yeah, it's danky.
Danky.
I really like their can art. It's like a
Yeah,
It's beautiful.
It's good, but
Nebula.
it is dry after to me.
I have
for sure.
on my workbench. I have like some of the beers stickers I have, and my current old CAZ representation is their triple, the Power 10,
Oh, right.
which was not our favorite beer, and I like this can art more. So I think I'm gonna take this can home,
Okay.
and it's going to be.
You just take
it's
the
gonna be
sticker off?
yeah. I just take the sticker off.
Yeah.
and
It's a
'cause
beautiful,
it's such a cool.
beautiful
It is.
can art.
It is really
And
good.
obviously, I need to have old CAZ represented on the workbench.
Yeah.
And
Absolutely.
I think this one might be this or Free Craig's. We'll see.
We'll
see
yeah,
when we
I
have
like
Free
Free
Craig's.
Craig's, yeah.
But
Mackenzie, when you say dry, do you mean not sweet or actually kind of it takes some of the moisture out of your mouth?
I mean, it takes them. I feel like
Okay.
it takes the moisture out for me, but I know
No, I
it's
get what
different
you're
for
saying.
different people too. Just a little bit, not super dry.
kind of- when you say dry, like champagne dry, kind of where it.
That's what I was.
Dry when you're
yeah.
usually talking about wine or champagne is talking about not lack of sweetness.
Yeah.
So I just wanted to.
No, it feels like
Yeah.
it takes the moisture out, but just
Yeah.
a little, not enough
Yeah.
to where you're like, wow, this is.
So I get what the two of you are talking about, the dryness and then that kind of bitterness at the end. To me, gives what I would say is a rind kind of flavor, like a lemon rind or orange rind, where you're getting grapefruit. Yeah. So it's getting that feel a little bit. I actually like that.
Me too.
I mean, grapefruit is one of my absolute
Yeah.
favorite, and so to me, this is really good. You mentioned Free Craig, which is one of the ones we have. This is very close to a Free Craig. In flavor, which I like to call, it almost has that what I like to call breakfast beer flavor,
Right.
Where it's like almost like a beer mosa, where it's like, did someone drop some orange juice in there? Like, it has that kind of feel to it a little bit. One of the beers that also reminded me of this, and especially when Steve was talking about it originally, is they have a Hazy AF, which is a pineapple Hazy.
Hazy?
Yeah, like what they call white people in Hawaii.
Oh, okay.
You would know.
I would. I was called that many times.
Yeah.
When I was stationed there. But pineapple is one of my favorites. And when you said like a mixture of a good mixture of bitter and sweet, that's what I think of when I think of that is pineapple. And they have a pineapple IPA essentially that they do, and it's one of my favorites. It's kind of like up there with Fog Belt's Painkiller, where it's a very, very tropical, very, very pineapple forward flavor. So.
I've got a movie pairing that just came to me because I'm getting Poison Ivy and Mr. Freeze. So I'm thinking Batman and Robin, the George Clooney edition. Goes back a ways, but I'm just trying to pull out random stuff to associate because we don't usually do it this direction.
No, I thought it was just because what we do in the podcast. I was like, how do we tie this back? I just thought that was really kind of cool idea, but no, that works. I could see that. Yeah. To me, this is kind of, I mentioned earlier like a breakfast thing. So this to me is like a lighter, I don't want to say breakfast at Tiffany's, but that's what jumped in my head right away. Maybe not the best one, but like something you would watch in the early afternoon, kind of Saturday morning, Mrs. Doubtfire.
Early afternoon.
Mrs. Doubtfire.
On Saturday afternoons,
at 2 p.m. on Saturday, you've been up for 4 hours.
Doubtfire.
So it's kind of like morning still.
That's true.
It's just, I'm
thinking of like as a child, like I didn't wake up butt ass early in the morning on Saturdays. I usually did, slept into 9 or 10, got up, had breakfast about noon.
It's more the visual of it.
The butt ass early.
Yeah.
But to me, like you just turn on TV and it'd be one of those Saturday afternoon movies that's playing on the local station.
Yeah.
That's why I was saying like a Miss Doubtfire kind of jumps into my head.
I was thinking American Pie.
Oh.
I don't think that would have been played in the middle of the afternoon on Saturday.
I have to say, I'm thinking when I was drinking this, I would Monaco Grand Prix or Monaco Formula One race. And it's like I could see people on their boats. It's kind of got the dry champagne-y kind of thing. So if you were to have a beer while watching,
those people don't drink beer.
Yeah, but if you were,
some of them do.
My reasoning was because I feel like with American Pie, you're just kind of sitting there jaw dropped. And your mouth dries out, and that's how I'm feeling right now.
So I got a little different. Mine is October Skies. I don't know if you guys have seen that movie. It's about some kids in, I believe it's West Virginia or Virginia.
And they're
Gyllenhaal, right? Jake Gyllenhaal?
No, it's some kids, and they're trying to build rockets and whatnot, sort of during the space race.
Yeah.
But it's a coal mining town, and so the crusty dad is like, no, you guys can't build rockets. You gotta either be good at sports and get a scholarship or go work in the coal mine. But these kids are really into rockets, and it all happens kind of during winter, so it's this kind of cold, dark, damp dankness with the sort of aspirations of working for NASA.
But that was kind of a true story, though, right?
It is, yes. Essentially, it's one of those towns where it's, you either get a sports scholarship or you work in the coal mine. But these kids were like, no, we're going to go get like a science scholarship. And go.
We're going to find the newest nebula.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay, I like that.
Awesome. All right, here we go. Get your creaky sounds up.
Okay,
we're going into the magic ice chest. Steve, just do it.
Where'd it go? Sorry.
For some reason, it was funnier that time.
Sounds like me getting up in the morning.
Yeah. That's the most
How do you stretch out your limbs?
You talking about the bed creak or your knees?
I think we should all have to take turns doing a creak sound. We'll see who does the best.
I love that.
All right.
This is sound pairing with everybody.
So we went 2 hazies right in a row. This is the first time we're going to jump off of that. This is a seasonal. This is Old CAZ. Chismosa?
Chismosa.
I was thinking we should do the other one with
Yeah,
it.
we should do the original Chismosa first.
Next, side to side.
Well, we should do them back to back, but I was thinking, it doesn't matter. Yeah,
we'll do the regular Chismosa after.
Okay.
Okay.
So you're not opening the door again.
No, not yet.
That's ready. That's ready.
But this is the Chismosa Clara, which is the Mexican lager, a 5% ABV with 13 IBUs. There is no story on the can.
It's like a beach.
I was obsessed. When we were making beer, I was always obsessed with making a good
that looks like it's a beach.
I had
You were.
the temperature control, so I could bring it down to lagering temperatures, and because IPAs you could, or any sort of pale pale ale or ales you can do at room temperature. You can do all your. Oh, here we go.
Ooh, that was a good one.
Oh, Sierra.
She's foamy.
I waited too long.
Stay in your lane.
Just looking at the can art and the name, I'm like trying to think of like some movie filmed in Mexico.
I think I'm going to go to my second glass for this one.
I'm gonna see. So I know the Chismosa is their Mexican lager is kind of their standard go-to, and that's one that we do have. And this is the Clara, so it's kind of my understanding is it's going to be a little more filtered, a little more probably a lighter feel to it.
Muchas gracias.
Yeah, the other one's an amber. The Chismosa is an amber.
Yeah.
And so this is much more clear. It looks like
super
a
clear.
Oh yeah,
It's like a Pacific.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
More like a Modelo.
I can almost see Sierra through it.
I can see you.
It is very Clara.
Oh,
And
Very good.
yours is bubbly.
Mine poured a nice head on it too, and it smells very much like a, to me, almost like a regular Mexican lager, but has a vanilla hint to it.
Ooh, yes.
Mine looks like sparkling apple cider.
Yep.
To the core.
I think I let all the head
No
out
head on
before
it.
you,
Yeah.
you got a
Nothing.
chance.
Sierra took all the head.
And it almost actually, without the head, smells appley.
I get that. Yeah, it has
Yeah.
almost like
It
a
actually does.
like a green apple kind of smell.
Yeah.
It totally does.
We need some brie cheese.
That'd be a good pairing for it.
It's like the best Corona or Modelo you've ever had.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is very good. I'm not necessarily always into the Mexican lagers, especially the heavier ones, kind of the heavier amber ones. I love a Corona on a hot day, but to me they always have like an extra hint to them. But this is really really good. Like
This is a good burrito beer.
Yeah.
Why do you say that?
Because it tastes good with a burrito.
This would go with a lot of different. This would go with a lot of.
I
different
have to be honest. I was nervous for this beer because this crowd likes a craft IPA and whatnot.
Yeah.
And so when we poured it, I was like, "Oh, is this just gonna be like? Is this just gonna be a Modelo?" But it's so much more. There's a crispness, a freshness.
There's a
to
crispness.
It.
Yeah.
I really like it.
It's subtle. The presentation. There's not. It's not in your face. But it's very. It's got character. It's able to kind of establish itself, even though
It's thin or dainty.
light.
Yeah, like
Yeah. It's welcoming.
Smooth is also the other thing. When
like that a
you
lot.
get a mouthfeel that really just has a silkiness to it and flows in, that's what this comes off to me. Is like there's no heavy, hit you in the mouth kind of flavors. There's no heavy smells to it. It just kind of flows in. Like this is really. I would go get this again in a heartbeat.
Me too. This is really good.
I'm curious the difference on tap. Sorry, go ahead.
No.
Yeah.
Or on nitro would be another really.
Yeah, I think the vanilla would really come through.
So, now that we've got that, any other potential movies? Eastbound and Down.
Don't know that one.
So it was a series with a comedian who was a pitcher and ended up going down into Mexico. It's he's always starring with Will Ferrell in like his. He was in Step Brother with Will Ferrell.
Oh, not John Riley. No.
I'm trying to think, but it's just a comedy. But he ends up being down in Mexico, and to me, that's the first thing I thought. It was like a smooth, kind of fun thing down in Mexico. So
Nice.
I'm gonna go with White Chicks because it reminds me of a cream soda.
So you went from Mexican lager to cream soda to white chicks.
Yes.
The human brain is a unique thing.
Okay.
No follow.
That's enough.
Yeah,
That's
no,
good. That was the stop sign.
What's the Anthony Hopkins movie where he's racing?
I just thought of another one.
Oh, okay. Well,
No. You go right.
where he's I believe he's an Australian that he comes to America. He's the fastest man in the. No. I can't. Nobody's catching on to this. Okay.
No.
The fastest. Oh shit. Anyway.
Oh, yeah. Oh, I know.
It's a true story, or it's based on a true story where he assembles his own cars and they do racing in the middle of the desert and
Mad Max.
No. Anthony Hopkins, not Mel Gibson. Anyway, I'm thinking of those long stretches of desert and the speed going on, and it kind of fits into something like that. So.
One of the movies we did when we thought was going to be really good, and we were a little disappointed by it, and that's not why I'm tying this to it, but it has a lot to do with Mexico and stuff like that. It was Cry Macho with Clint Eastwood.
Yo, that was a big disappointment.
And that's not why.
Lousy movie.
I know, but the reason is not because this beer was lousy, but it was expectation change. Like, I wasn't expecting anything good, and it came out great, where we were expecting something really good and it flopped. Okay. So it's kind of like an opposite of Cry Macho. So
Cry Macho.
It had a lot to do in Mexico. The kid star in it was really good.
What about the Green Mile?
Interesting.
That's where it ends.
Right. There we go.
There we go.
All right. Now we'll get into the regular Chismosa, which is a Mexican amber lager, where the other one was more clear, pale. And let's go with the...
They went full Mexican flag on the label.
Yeah, I just realized the colors. The red, white, and green.
Thank you for pointing that out.
That was for our video watchers.
Yeah.
That was for the live stream.
That was for the live stream.
Yeah.
One of these days we'll have it. What the live stream is actually my wife Alyssa just sitting over there telling people what she sees.
So the Chismosa, actually there is a description on this.
Super different color.
It's all in Spanish. Okay.
What? Is it?
Después de un día largo champeando, nuestra cerveza preferida de siempre es una fría lager ámbar mexicana.
Where's our Google Translate? We gotta have some sort of unless you
Tiene
can live
el
translate.
sabor ligero de sus más pálido primo, pero suficiente carácter en su cuerpo y personaje de malta
has a lot of body and personality.
Extra.
It's a little extra.
So extra. I have a special relationship with this beer because this is almost always the second beer I
Your
get.
fiance's here.
Yes. We have a more special relationship.
Okay, that one's above this one.
She's like the first beer.
She's the first beer.
Yeah. This is the second one.
Yeah, this is almost always the
Cheers
second
to that.
beer I get when I go to Old CAZ, especially if I don't want to leave too tipsy, because it's a little lighter, but it's so ABV. Full of flavor and it's so fulfilling that I'm like, I can just drink it, enjoy it, and then I can be done.
So for those out there that don't understand Spanish like I do not, I got this off of on tap. It says the year is 2012. We just finished working 2 weeks in the sweltering Coachella Valley. Upon finishing, we sat down, ordered a Negra Modelo, and became so sated by the beverage that we swore then that one day we would brew a beer that would remind us of that glorious moment. Chismosa is a malt-focused, clean, crushable Mexican amber lager, and its name comes from the Spanish word chisme, or to gossip.
Ooh.
Oh.
So,
yeah, Chismosa is like somebody who's a gossip.
Is it?
I didn't know that.
Didn't know that.
Now you do. And no one's half the battle.
I love this beer.
The beginning sentence says, after a day, the word I don't know is like cambiando, but
it's probably working your ass off.
like large blah, whatever that word is. Our favorite beer, or our preferred favorite beer, is a cold amber Mexican lager. This is yours too.
So after a hard day of work.
After a hard day of work is how you can translate that.
So
I was trying to do it directly.
This has a stronger flavor than the Clara. It comes off, and I mean the color right off it.
Oh yeah,
is amber for sure. A much darker color, and comes with a much stronger flavor profile. Like the malt in this compared to the last one.
I don't like it.
Just comes out hitting you a little bit.
You're still describing it.
So yeah, I mean,
it hits in the back of
it
your
is an
palate.
amber, 100%. I don't know what makes a Mexican lager other than someone saying it's a Mexican lager.
Let's translate the can.
It is kind of generic to me. I mean, it's a good, strong.
It does taste like a Modelo
beer.
It tastes like a Modelo Negro for sure.
But there is something real kind of regular about it. It doesn't stand out as anything.
So
the Clara was subtle, but it was still bold in its subtlety.
Yeah, I agree.
This just kind of feels like it's right in the middle.
Yeah.
Well, this would be for people that like ambers or browns, like a Newcastle brown ale. I went through a time in my life where I thought I really liked those, and this has that kind of. It comes with more flavor, like a stronger like. To me, this is someone like cigars. Right, you know, cigar smoke is a different thing. It just
that's a good analogy.
You know, if you like that flavor, this is probably the kind of beers you like. I'm not a cigar guy, but yeah.
I just like how you said you thought you liked him, and then you realized.
No, I did. You want to, you know.
I remember you liking.
You want to latch onto a beer that's your beer, and I thought, oh, Newcastle Brown Ale, I'll go for that. After about a month and a half,
Newcastle guy.
Yeah, after about 2 weeks, 3 weeks, I was like, maybe not. Let me
not
find
a Newcastle.
I found a different one. I remember Red Wolf was a red ale that I got, and it was done by Anheuser-Busch. And I was like, oh, this is me. I'm all about this one. And I drank those for a while, and then they disappeared. And I'm like, oh, no, I got to find another one. But yeah, you go through and you got to find your niche and your style. But yeah, if Mexican lagers or amber lagers are your style, this is a really clean beer for what it is. Not everybody's flavor profile.
Yeah, I'm here for this beer. It's just I love it, but I do love an amber red beer.
I do like reds.
I'm in with it.
I've liked reds in the past for sure.
Now, a lot of times a red is an ale. Like a lot of times there are red ales. But is an amber an ale or is it a lager?
Well, this says it's a lager.
This is a lager.
So amber does not mean one or the other.
Okay, so you can have an amber ale or an amber lager.
Lager has more to do with the yeast and the temperatures and things. So there's a different type of yeast used for ales versus lagers.
You know, I'd say I want to like this beer, but you know, and I, like I said, the can looks great. It looks fun, and it's okay. But no, it's see, like to me, I agree. The Clara Chismosa,
I would chase that down.
I would chase this down. This, I mean, and like when I order it, I'll order it there, but it's like it never. It's fine, and it's not.
It would go well with food too.
Yeah, it's not bad.
Unless you're said.
It's not bad.
This is one of my favorites.
No, that's the beauty of it.
Yeah.
Though. Like everybody has a different flavor profile.
Yeah.
So I figured out. It goes off of what Mike said there. Like I wanted to like this. This pairs this with Breaking Bad.
Oh.
I wanted to like that. I really did. But it drove me so nuts, and there was so much about it that I hated. And not that I hate this beer, but there was so much about it that just drove me wild. I was like, I can't get behind this. I want to like it. I really, really, really want to like it because everybody else did, but I couldn't do it.
So, Breaking Bad's my favorite television series ever. But I'll tell you one of my secrets to watching it.
It's like I'm returning my suit.
Yeah, I would watch it because you can watch it on Netflix. I watch it middle of episode to middle of episode. Because see what happens at the end of every episode, there's this thing. Oh my God, there's no way you're going to get out of it.
How do you turn it off?
And right?
How do you get to that point though? How do you get from middle to middle?
Because see, the middle's the most boring part.
There's a lull.
There's a lull in the middle of every episode.
As someone who's never seen that show, I have no context.
Yeah,
but that
but
is the thought of turning off a show halfway through is wild.
No, because see what happens is it just runs. So this big climax thing happens, and then supposedly you have to wait for the next week until the next episode comes in. But since you have it all there, you have this big climax, big giant thing happens, and then I just start the next episode and you see how that goes. Mm-hmm. And then as the show goes along, they always hit a lull halfway through the show, and that's a time when, okay, I can just stop here. And
wow.
And
the first 10 minutes, it addresses the cliffhanger from the previous episode. So you just
That's a
stop
level
right
of
about
willpower
there.
I'll never obtain.
Once you buy into it, you realize there's no other way to watch shows. Yeah.
Okay.
This is a man who, when he flew to Denmark, started falling asleep hours early.
I did.
Like 2 weeks in advance.
Yeah.
He has a discipline.
I so relate to that
Yeah.
in a way that, yeah.
It was-
I wish I
it
wasn't
was
that
great
way.
Because
because
he
it
was
was
at like 5 p.m.
Because
No,
he's a man with a plan.
Yes.
But it was December too, so you could do that. It was dark at like 5 or 6, and then people would get emails from
We're
you.
about to have a pizza snatcher.
Yes. Well, I was gonna, since you say it's your favorite show, Noah and I have actually talked a lot about this on the podcast, just because I've been trying to pressure him to give it another chance, but just kind of looking at it from the standpoint of that it's okay to hate the characters and have them drive you crazy. That's a big part of it.
Right.
But I gotta say, it's not my favorite series. Better Call Saul is my favorite series.
I'm going to give Better Call Saul another because I've watched the first.
You have not.
I've watched 2 seasons of it.
Yeah. Okay.
I'll keep going.
Well, while you guys think about that, we're going to jump
I'm gonna work on
into the magic box.
Oh, wow.
Ooh, okay, I'm going to get my phone. Can't hear that.
Do it better.
I actually thought it was good.
Thank you. Okay.
Yeah.
Here we
Do
go.
it better.
All right. And out of the case came a very, very staple beer from Old CAZ. This is One Way, a West Coast IPA.
I like this.
7% and 50 ABVs. Those that don't understand what the ABV number is, that's usually the bitterness level. So the lower the number, the lower the bitterness. West Coast IPAs typically have a high AB, or not an ABV, IBU. All right, here we go.
Kenzie has brought his dog Fizzy, who is currently being treated to a table height bed.
He's a princess.
Absolute-
If you saw him, you would understand.
Absolute king.
Short King.
He is living his best life.
Okay,
He didn't
Izzy,
care for the
Izzy, look this
Chismosa.
way. Come on, we're getting a
Fizz.
picture. Whoops.
So West Coast IPAs. West Coast IPAs typically have a higher bitter level, very distinct from the hazy and from the New England style, and
I'm looking at yours from here, and you've got the grass behind you, and so it looks green.
His
Oh, it
color,
does.
his color has looked different from mine all night, and I keep holding it up like, are we drinking the same beer?
Oh yeah, because look at that.
It's when you hold
I've
it
got
up to
the
the
magic
window,
glass.
you've got the grass behind you. Yeah, it's
So
different than looking.
go
at
ahead, read the can.
yeah, at the dawn of Old CAZ beer, before we could afford our own brewing system, we rented space at a brewery in Redding, California. One scorching August morning in 2018, we made the 200-mile journey, brewed our very first beer, and left it to ferment. Just before the beer was due to finish, we received news of the worsening car fire. Redding was about to lose power and be evacuated. Leaving nothing to chance, we sped north to keg and load the beer in a hastily rented one-way U-Haul. Today we rest easy enjoying this light, citrusy West Coast IPA featuring Simcoe, Citra, and Mosaic hops. Really cool. I knew there was a tie-in to the fires, and I'd forgotten what it was, so it's a good reminder.
West Coast IPAs have been another local brewery. Lagunitas was kind of like they're considered the grandfather and the creator, the top notch of the West Coast style IPA.
I didn't know that. Okay.
And so a lot of people Lagunitas IPA is a go-to. This is so much better than that.
It was really good.
Oh, yeah. No comparison.
This beer, I believe, is award-winning.
Yes,
right?
I think it is. I was
And
going to say
they've
that.
started advertising it locally on U-Hauls.
One way?
Yeah, I'm serious.
Yes, you
Yes.
did mention this. Yeah,
Yes.
This beer's on the U-Haul.
Yes.
That's
you sound like you have a little
hilarious.
British accent.
This beer is on the U-Haul.
On the trolley.
What do you think,
Lord.
Fizz?
I saw it on the Insta.
So it's on the ground.
Oh, that's hilarious.
Fizzy doesn't
This
like
has
it. He turned around.
a nice clear, this is what you would call a beer color, right? When people think of light beers kind of have like this color lacking, where it's almost watered down. This is what you would think of a good beer color is. It's kind of lightish yellow, very see-through, very clear. So that's a kind of standard in a West Coast. That's opposite of the hazy. I love the smell of West Coast IPAs, and the typical reason is they typically have more hops than a lot of other beers. Because and one of the reasons the West Coast is and they get the bitterness that they get is because they boil their hops from the get-go too.
I'm sorry, I'm still thinking about the color you're talking about, and I just think it looks like you peed in a cup.
Well, that's a good beer color.
Right?
A healthy pee color is a good beer color.
Yeah.
I mean, if you took that into your doctor, they'd say that's a healthy piss.
Yeah.
Well, it depends on what stage you're at with the drinking too. Whether it's an early piss or it's a later piss.
Well, you don't want it much darker than this.
Because then you get to Chismosa Clara.
If you're Chismosa,
you are hydrated.
If you're Chismosa, you need to go to the hospital. If you're Chismosa Clara, you're good.
Correct.
Yeah.
Correct. Yeah. This is dehydration level.
Yeah.
Toxic.
This is my favorite of the ones we've had.
I think so too.
It's my least favorite.
Least?
Least favorite.
Sometimes your heart gets ripped from you.
It does.
That's how Seth was with the Chismosa. When everyone's like, this is kind of mid.
He's not invited again.
I'm not a big West Coast IPA fan, and it has to do with the bitterness level. Typically, like I've always taken those higher bitter, and I like to mix those with a very sweet cider. Is my typical thing to do with the West Coast. Which is probably why I'm a huge fan of hazies, because they're usually on the sweeter side, or even realistically darker ambers and things like that, because they have a lot more malt, which usually is a lot sweeter and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of this. Like I won't throw this out. I would never like not finish a can, but I would probably, if we went to the hockey game and this is all they had, I'd probably like, yeah, I can skip this one.
Wow. I think I would love this if it was chilled a little more. To me, I mean, it's cold, but I sometimes you just need your beer ice cold. And I think I tend to enjoy something that doesn't have as much sweetness when it's really cold, and then I can really get into it. This is kind of borderline. We're starting to lose a little bit of the.
I felt that way about this one. It needed to be cooler.
Well, see, that one had a little bit of tropicalness to it,
Nebula,
which seemed to round it out, and I think that's why I liked that one a little more because it had a little bit more sweetness to it, a little fruitiness. Whereas this one doesn't have the fruity. It's just it's got the bitter. I like it, but I think I just want it a little colder.
I'm shocked, but I am with Mike. It's my favorite too.
You're not.
And I'm not a West Coast person.
And the thing is, I think one of the reasons I like this is because we've had two. What's that?
Hold on. I am a West Coast person.
You are West Coast. But see, we've had the two hazies, and it's like I'm used to haze. I do like hazies, but this just like is so different than anything else we've had, and I do like it.
I'm with you guys. I really like the spirit. And when Noah was talking about Lagunitas, what it reminds me of when I drank it is Lagunitas IPA Rev 2. It's like they had Lagunitas IPA and they're like, how do we make this better in every way? And I think that's where you get to the one.
Yeah.
I'm with Noah. It's good, but I
I
wouldn't order. Like I would pick anything else we've tasted before this, but I wouldn't. I would finish it if I opened it.
You have to.
I would
I'm not a criminal.
Yeah, but that's what's fun, I think, about doing these podcasts. A little more so, in my opinion, than the triples. Is because we do such a more wide range of beers, and we actually get some differentiation. And what we like, what we don't like. It's cool.
And we learn a lot about people.
Because that's what this podcast
is really about. It's really about.
That's the undertone.
It's about relationships.
And relationships. It's about coming together.
So for me, the movie on this one is Iron Man 2. Because really, I knew what was going to get going in, really wanted to like it, and just don't. It just has something about it that's, and it's better than a lot of other stuff, but it's just not standalone good on its own. So
I agree.
Not like that take.
I think he agreed, actually.
Okay, my movie is The Matrix.
Oh,
it's the one.
The one.
He is the one.
Mine's The Thing, because I really want it to be in a really ice cold temperature.
Nice.
So,
okay.
I was thinking like The Incredibles. Not because I'm like thinking like it's incredible, but like easy to watch, simple, easy to drink.
Just trying to ruin the
I know.
I
I was sitting here. I was like, Dad's gonna be so mad.
She's like, wait, we're far enough from Christmas, right?
Perfect middle ground, actually.
Yeah,
Couldn't get much farther. You're like right at the halfway mark.
I met my deadline. Great.
All right.
Okay.
Here we go. Let's
Wait, sorry.
Let's get the creaky
Wait,
sound.
I think Steve should make the sound this time. Oh.
Take your time, Noah.
Whoa. We should all start singing God Bless America in Union.
Midas 76, a blonde ale, 4.8 ABV and 18 IBUs.
The two blondes over there are.
No. And this one has a story.
I was
Awesome.
going to say stoked was a bad word. Sorry.
Yeah.
Not a henhouse podcast.
Yes.
Next time.
I had stoked last night.
Did you?
Huh?
Better than having a
So I'm
stroke.
trying to figure out if this should go in my like IPA glass or my
What's a
lager
blonde?
and pilsners.
It's a blonde. I would stay with the Pilsners.
Yeah.
It's closer to
Do you,
that.
do you want to finish my Chismosa?
All right. This now has no nose to it at all. I'm not getting anything off of this.
Oh, you're right. There's nothing.
He has no nose.
It's a Voldemort. No nose. Very clear. This would pass your hydration piss test. Very very light blonde color. Mine once again. I am pouring head after head on these little glasses.
It's the first pour.
No, it's skill, Sierra. You just go with skill. Okay, taste wise.
I swear, one of you guys are going to like it.
It's me.
It's me, Mario.
It's me. I could drink
really
a dozen of them.
Yeah.
And at a 4.8, this is
your lawnmower
This is a
beer.
lawnmower
Yeah,
beer
yeah.
right here.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
But like, don't you want flavor?
I get
Oh,
like
this
meaty
is-
flavor out of this.
I get
That
more
to me
flavor
is
than
like
I do. You're right about the nose.
There's no
nothing
nose,
there.
but it's got a good citrus kick to it.
A little bit at the end, yeah.
Yeah. You know what this reminds me of? So one of my favorite lawnmower beers is a Bud Light Lime. This is Bud Light Lime Pinky Out.
Well, it's not fake lime. It's like
Yes, that's what I mean. It's a
Legally
heavier,
blonde.
thicker beer. It's
giving
a
Legally
cleaner,
Blonde.
stronger
That's
beer,
funny.
but it's got that lemony lime flavor to me. And this, yeah. Oh,
I remember
I could drink this, but I part of me's a little bored with it. So
I'm with you, Steve.
It's kinda-
like I'd take a Bud Light Lime. What's going on?
Sorry.
is this a shot at blondes? Just say.
what? No, I like this a lot. This is good beer.
It looks good, but it's boring. I don't know.
Me, a blonde sitting at the table.
Well, it's a Midas.
Sierra.
It's Midas.
Looks good, but
It's-
wow.
That was
there's
the
like-
vibe.
I mean, they named it after blondes because there's just not enough there's no beers called brunettes, right?
okay, if it had less carbonation, what do
Me
you
and
think?
Fizzy are leaving.
I think I would hate it if it had less carbonation. To
Yeah,
me,
that's what I mean. This
to
is-
me, the carbonation kind of gives
Helps it.
helps it.
Yeah, it takes it to a seltzer water level where it's like, oh yeah, this is fine.
Better than Chismosa.
Just right.
So, if I ordered this, I don't know that I would finish it.
Oh no, you finished.
I would
This
finish
is
it.
good.
Dun dun dun.
Like Better Call Saul, only get 2 seasons in
There's
and you
something.
drop it.
Yeah, I don't
the
know.
hell?
All right, here we go. We got a can read here.
Okay.
One of the many bizarre occupations our co-founder Brian had before Old CAZ was captain of the Gold Dreg in Nome, Alaska, spending summers diving for gold in the frigid waters of the Bering Sea is something that few people can claim. His ship, Midas, and many others in the Nome area are responsible for millions of dollars worth of gold used in computer chips, cell phones, and even electrical wires for NASA. Similar to the ship of its namesake, this vessel carries the slightly malted golden blonde we've come to love, featuring Cascade and citrus hops. This is one of the best can arts they've also done too. It is just an American flag. This screams 4th of July, hot summer day on the beach, or out mowing your yard with some country music blasting, cut off shorts.
If it was noon and someone showed up, see the thing for me, this beer belongs in a 6-pack, not a 4-pack. And somebody came up with a 6-pack of this,
12-ounce cans instead of 16s.
Yeah, on a summer afternoon, I'd be like, all right, yeah, I see what you're cooking.
I got an easy movie pairing: Sweet Home Alabama.
Oh yeah.
With Reese Witherspoon, right?
Yeah.
Yes, Reese Witherspoon.
So this would be also another one like floating down the river on
it's better this time.
tubes.
I enjoy it.
This would be a perfect beer for just enjoying a river float.
So to me, this is a Star Wars Episode 3.
Oh, that is so oddly specific.
Like, still better than, 7, 8, 9, but the worst of the top 6. And we've had 6 beers. This
3?
one.
Revenge of the Sith.
Yeah.
Okay.
I thought 3 was the worst of the original 6.
Okay.
3 was the worst of the original 6.
And we've had 6 beers.
And then you divide by 2 plus Yoda.
Yeah, like Episode 2 was the best of the top, I think.
Of the first 3.
Of the first 3.
Wait, you mean episode? Okay, episode 2 was Attack of the Clones.
Right.
You thought that was the best, or Empire Strikes Back?
Oh no, Empire Strikes Back is by far the best.
Okay.
No, I'm saying so you've got episodes 4, 5, 6.
On this
right?
week's
This
Star Wars episode.
Those are the best. Episode 6.
This beer unlocked something. We're in trouble.
Episode 6 was
That's a good beer
with the Ewoks was so.
Right.
But the Empire Strikes Back is by far the best.
Yeah, I'm talking of the early 2000s movies.
We have very similar taste in movies.
That's my favorite movie too.
What's that?
I thought you were Return of the Jedi.
No, Empire.
Okay.
I'm Return of the Jedi.
Wait, I want to be in the friend group.
I think people that think that Empire Strikes Back are just bandwagoners. Some movie critic at one point was like, "It's the best," and everyone's like,
"No,
you have to say it's the best."
Return of the Jedi.
Voldemort was awful in it.
That's the I want to be part of the crowd group.
Back in the 80s, you didn't have critics that were driving the conversation.
No, it was.
But
I'm telling you, as someone that watched the movies,
saw that 3 or 4 times the first week it came out, and I've never seen a movie more than once.
So
wait, that was good.
I know. Thank you.
I was trying to think of a good summer movie, but I can't think of it. I mean, there's I kind of want to go with Stand By Me, but they're too young
what about
to
Top
be.
Gun?
you could.
They're too young to be drinking.
I started with a cartoon.
True.
I like Top Gun. It's good.
Top Gun is
I'm good with Top Gun.
I have to admit, I was too harsh on this beer initially. It's not my favorite of the ones we've drank, but it is, objectively speaking, it's
Blondes
it's a good
get better
beer.
as time goes on. Maybe the first impression isn't what you wanted, but if you stick around, we have a little more substance.
I agree with what you said, because I was like it at first, but the more I had, the more I appreciated it.
The drunker you get, the better.
Thank you.
Are you talking about beer or are you talking about Mackenzie?
Kenzie.
Just Kenzie.
Mackenzie.
It's like Mackenzie, no ma. You can leave the ma behind.
It's a Mick Blonde ale.
This is a Mick Blonde. Yeah.
All right, here we go. Now, this is the one that I was super excited for.
This could be the one that goes on my tool shelf.
Yeah, so
There's
this
room for
is
2.
Old CAZ Spring Fling, a hazy IPA, 7.2 ABV, 30 IBUs. When we were first looking at beers early this week and last week about Old CAZ, I was on their Instagram and I saw this go by and I was like, oh, this might be the one. Something about the hazies coming from Old CAZ have always just struck me as like, yeah, they know what they're doing. And so this is kind of their release this year for it. That was a horrible can open.
Yeah.
Steve did better.
It sounds
Luckily, he's there for you.
It's a little
flat.
flat. Juice here.
Yeah.
Based on the lack of a
But it had a good pour.
Ooh, that is a hazy color if I've ever seen it.
Yes.
That is.
Oh yeah, hazy for sure.
Very, very hazy.
Thank you.
And a smell that is great.
It's a good looking head. Pretty nitro.
Yeah.
It's good in my mouth too.
I'm looking at you, Noah.
No, they did. I was like, oh, maybe that's the movie.
This is
Has a good nose.
I just want to
Mike
smell it.
Myers.
I'm afraid to drink it.
with the Irish accent. Look at the size of his head.
Austin Powers.
Austin Powers,
Three
fat
or
bastard.
No, it's a different. I think it's
Fat bastard, right?
I love
I
that
Married
movie.
an Axe Murderer.
Oh.
When he's talking about the kid with the big head. He's like, look at his head. It's so big.
I like it.
I think it's better than
I was just.
Nebula.
I need to have it with the Nebula. Is there any left in the Nebula?
Yeah.
I need to pour it because I think I need to have them back to back.
It's really good.
Yeah, but this is leaning more into the tropical, less into the bitter. Well, the afterward.
But that's kind of that's a hazy style. I mean,
Yeah.
This.
I mean, if you want to do something unique, you got to do a hazy that's got a good bitter to it.
It's got almost a candy sweetness to it, though. I don't know if I go for that.
That's my style, though. That's oh god, this could.
This is really good.
This is close to our triple
That's cool.
with the Mountain Nelson. This is very much on that flavor profile.
Okay, so does anybody want to
No, I
back
want
to
the rest
back
of this
with
can.
the
Nebula?
the Nebula? So the Nebula is much more dank. It's got the same fruit notes, but they're not as strong. And I think personally, I slightly prefer the Nebula, but this is really good, really good. This is smoother, doesn't have as much carbonation.
You know this. You know what this reminds me of? Sadly, remember that that cherry. What is it? The vodka infused.
You're not talking about
Jolly Rancher.
Jolly
Rancher
Rancher.
infused vodka that Noah made one time, and it was. It's that little candy taste that I'm getting out of this that I just have a bad place in my.
Yeah, you
memory
guys drink
for
way
it.
too much of it, and we're way tore
Yeah.
up, and now
Well-
nobody will ever drink it again with me around.
And I'm getting a little hint of that, and it's kind of it's bringing back
Nauseous?
those.
See,
those
to me,
nauseous
this is
Bringing back
memories.
nausea.
Yeah.
This to me is like I want to call it a gateway beer because it's a sweetness that and there's not that bitter that if you're not big into beers, this is an easy drinking beer.
I think this is a party beer because see, I can see like if you were to take what we're doing here, but you know, like seriously, like you know, you're drinking this like it's a happy beer.
Yeah,
You know, and it's like everyone's. I feel like you're going to be in a good mood. It's maybe except
Yeah.
for Kenzie.
It's like saccharine.
Drinking this.
It's the blonde slander. I can't get over that.
I'm not a fan.
Here's the thing, so Steve, and those that have listened to the podcast will know Steve usually goes for the more old-fashioned style, the more
when we do the cocktails and stuff.
cocktails. And,
Sure.
and I go more on a tiki style, more fruit forward,
Yeah.
very sweet.
Sure.
And this is our difference in flavors of beer. You don't care for the sweeter beers, and this is my lane.
Well, I'm not a cider fan. You know, that's
true.
I just don't go.
we have decided, Kenzie and I, that it doesn't go well with pretzels.
It actually tastes significantly worse.
The salt?
Post peanut butter pretzel.
And I had the
Oh.
flat
not
one.
good.
No,
Peanut butter
thought
pretzel would taste terrible with this.
Yeah.
No, I liked
Yeah.
it.
Interesting.
I had the other pretzel and I
So
didn't.
a stout. That
I
peanut
don't
butter
think it's the
pretzel
peanut
would be
butter. I
great,
think it's
but
the
Now that's an
pretzel.
interesting
Salty.
question because,
Salty.
like,
Yeah.
If this is a beer you're drinking with a dinner, like would it pair well with something that is like
Whoa, wait a second. We don't pair food and beer. We pair alcohol and
so if you were at
movies.
the movies and you ran out of popcorn and you had to have something else to eat with this, would you go with like would your Mike and Ike's really work well with this, or
Yes.
would that be too sweet, too much on sweet?
Milk duds.
Milk duds.
Okay.
I mean,
Something
but what movie are
chocolatey
you
and
watching
sweet.
when you're watching this? To me, you know what? I'm gonna throw this out there. I'm watching this with Ragnarok.
Ooh, I like it.
I'm drinking this
fun.
and watching
Yes.
Ragnarok.
It's
Yes.
fun. It's light.
Yes.
I was thinking Tropic Thunder.
I,
Just because it's like it's fun, it's light, it's tropical. Like
Right.
Such a good movie. So much fun.
That is a good movie, but
But,
that's kind of why I'm not, because I obviously don't have the same enamorment with this
Yeah.
beer. I'm more with like Ant-Man, Quantumania, in the quantum realm, whatever the Ant-Man,
Yes.
Ant-Man 3 was.
But see, the thing is, I don't think this is a beer you drink alone.
How about
I think it's a beer you drink with friends.
Footloose?
Well, it's
You can
definitely
drink
not a beer
alone.
you drink in a paper
Okay.
bag.
Right.
it's not a big bag.
You say Footloose,
Well, see,
but
yes.
I
Oh, wait,
swear
which-
when
which
I saw
Footloose?
Oh.
Footloose?
Which the
one where his
80s
foot's
or
loose, right?
or the 2020 whatever that came out in the 2019.
Have you only seen one?
Probably.
No,
She
we
saw
saw
the
Bacon.
original.
Kevin
we
Bacon.
saw the OG one.
The- yeah,
because,
yeah.
Because
All right.
Alyssa
With Kevin
had,
Bacon?
Like there's a
Alyssa,
second.
Alyssa had a Footloose themed party, and so ahead of that, we watched the Kevin Bacon Footloose, where he's in the old VW Bug, and yeah.
Kenzie, I'm sorry, I interrupted by asking.
It's okay.
You were going to add something about.
American Graffiti.
Oh yeah.
It is
Like it.
tomorrow,
Pre-Star Wars,
which is
that's,
so ironic, but it's like the colors, it's giving old car, it's
Yeah.
giving drinks
Very
with
70s.
friends,
70s.
kind of a vintage vibe to me. It's giving,
Cars.
it's giving,
Shoot.
what, we'll forget you said that.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah, it's giving American Graffiti to me.
That's what. Yeah. 50s.
50s. There we go.
Well, that's where the birth
If
of
we
like
edited it, we would have.
Ron Howard
can art
and,
is like
and
groovy, right?
It
you
is.
know, Happy Days and Laverne and Shirley.
Right.
Those
It all
actors
came
got
from
their
that.
start in
You know,
American
you know,
Graffiti.
Which is like such
Electric
a,
Company.
right, the 50s is like such a
I
joyous
know that,
time when
yeah,
you look
yeah.
back
That's
at
what
it in
that's
movies, but maybe
That's
not
the 70s,
necessarily,
like,
right? Which is
yes.
like, that's this.
Uh-huh.
Yeah.
It's giving joyous
So
time, but
Steve-
maybe it's not for
Steve and
everybody.
Michael, this is the can art to me is screaming Electric Company, PBS.
Oh yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That's
Morgan Freeman,
Hairspray.
Mr. Green Jeans. I think
Yeah.
right.
That's a good
Yeah.
one. Communal movies. American Graffiti, communal movie. Footloose, communal movie. What was
Hairspray.
it? Hairspray, communal movie.
Where are you guys at on the beer itself? Are we?
I enjoy it.
You
yeah.
like it?
I
It's
really,
mid.
really
Okay.
like
Yeah.
it. All right.
Where do you remember it from? Comparing it to the.
I only
Nebula?
have a least favorite. All the rest of them are
What's your least favorite?
Chismosa.
Okay.
So
good.
wrong.
The rest of them, actually, also the Nebula. It's too dank for me. I don't like dank
Yeah.
beers.
I
that
need
might-
somebody else to drink. Thank you, Kenzie.
I got
I
you.
want somebody else to drink the Nebula with it. I really think
Okay,
it's
well,
important to.
Here we go.
The
See,
nose
I'm
is
holding
very
out because
different.
There's another beer in here that's coming up. That is one of my absolute favorites, and it's probably my absolute favorite from Old CAZ because it's their standard. And I want to try.
Great.
I want to try the spring fruit.
Spoiler.
with it. Yeah, free fruit. All right, here we go.
What's that?
I like
Hold
the
on,
Nebula
I'm
one.
curious.
Hold on a
Yeah,
second.
we're
The
going with you.
Nebula is a
Nebula.
little bit more tropical. I agree, and I think I just like that. It's
I think
easier
it's
for
more
me to
bitter.
drink. This in my mouth. Okay, yes, more bitter, like it dries out my mouth, but I like the flavor of it
It's
better. I like the
grapefruit.
Nebula.
It's the grapefruit. I like in the Nebula.
Yeah,
Well,
I'm with you guys. I like the Nebula more.
I'll be in the spring fling all day long.
I'll join you.
You guys go to space. I'll sit in a field of flowers.
I'm not sure I'll
That
ever
sounds
come down.
wonderful.
I'm going right to
I'm a
space.
spring fling.
Okay.
There we go. Hey, that's
We're flingers.
That's pretty.
So you're
three and three.
So you guys are flingers and we're Nebulas.
Interesting.
This is a lot about a person.
I'm in. Well, I
Are
just
you
don't
in
like
space
spring
or does spring fling?
I'm the only one that doesn't like it.
Okay.
He's like,
Okay,
Yeah.
I just prefer the Nebula.
Yeah, no.
Yeah.
All right, here we go.
I'm all Nebula.
We're gonna get into it now. Go ahead, Steve. Give us a open the door song.
Creed.
All right, for those watching on the live stream, you got it. But he did this whole shoulder dance to like get into it, and then he leads into the mic and goes, "Creek."
All right, we're gonna. Okay, we're switching. Oh my god, I don't even know how.
How many more?
We're switching 3.
We're switching.
We're switching lanes here. We're going into a Czech Pilsner.
Ooh.
Bukovany Pivo?
I love Pilsners. Was my jam when we were making beers.
Yeah, it was.
So
Can
I thought it
art
was your real
0
jam.
out of 10.
what?
Can art is a 0.
I mean, it's very. I like the.
It's silver.
they're
So-
leaning
But
into the-
stack
into
it
the
next to
brass,
these bad
the-
boys,
the-
that's a 0.
But
It reminds me of the Beatles' White Album.
but it's silver.
It gives.
But it's so basic.
So you know what it reminds me of is a. There are very few that people that are gonna get this, but is a
Got a good
P-51 Mustang
Ooh.
from World War II,
Oh,
where they're like bare
Yeah.
metal,
Yes.
you know, just
Yeah.
the bare
Yeah.
aluminum.
Yeah.
The chrome.
Oh,
Yeah,
no,
the
no, no. A
Chrome.
DeLorean.
A
Chrome.
DeLorean.
A DeLorean.
Yeah. There's
If
no
we're talking
Cybertruck.
airplanes, it's giving T6. It's giving T6
T6?
Texan. Oh my.
I like
Hold
it.
on.
I think
P-51.
The silence,
P-51.
that was a movie
Okay, we gotta
silence.
do the opening.
You wouldn't know there's a color because it's the
Sierra.
same color as the can.
Ah, nice. To me, the can art on this one is saying basically canned.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I can.
I like that.
I can.
Well, the reason why is Pilsners are typically very light in color and very light in brew. To me, so it's kind of like they're I don't want to call them simple in the fact of like they're simple, but that's what they literally are. Is they're kind of
This is what people that don't drink beer drink.
They're typically a lager, you know.
Yeah, lager.
That's like kind of a hard critique.
Do you guys remember? You guys weren't around for this, like the age of generic products, and there was
Yes.
beer.
Yes.
It's all
Yellow can.
black letters, beer.
That's what I feel like
that's
the old
this.
CAZ
Wait.
logo is just there's
That's
no
this.
Beer.
This is the most forgettable thing on the
So
table.
I remember a friend of mine, because of the generic products, wanted to
You
get
want some
just
water?
the barcode on tattooed on the back of his neck for the generic beer. And I think he ended up doing it. I know he talked about it for years and years when we were teenagers, drinking generic beer. But
So I've got a movie for this. Repo Man.
Emilio Estevez.
Just because there's a lot of generic products.
I've got one. Battle LA.
Oh, good call.
Just generic
So-
or triple
yes.
front.
So-
just
yeah.
generic action
I
movie.
love it.
so the interesting thing about
Never heard of
the Pilsners is they're a class of
Battle-
beers that like certain people, that's what they go to. And I think this is like I don't want to make it sound derogatory, but the Budweiser set, right? They like a lighter beer that is just basic, that you can drink 12 pack and not be like hammer. Like you can't.
Well, you need to.
That's how your life is. Yeah.
Yeah.
This has got a little bit of a unique aftertaste, and that is to me the only thing it's got going for it that makes it unique. Everything else is pretty basic. But I'm gonna go with what's the Matthew McConaughey U-boat movie, U-5541 or something like that.
All right.
No,
Even though I know what this.
yeah. Well, I mean, maybe it's just because of the can art. You know?
Here we
It just
go.
looks like a submarine.
This is I don't know if it's written on the can, but this is from On Tap. Tom's great grandparents used to run a pub out of their house in a small Czech town, Bukovany. It's probably mispronounced, but there was so much amazing brewery culture in that area, and this is a beer that was brewed specifically to pay respect to it. The beer showcases an array of noble hops that are a result of result in a light, well-rounded, easy drinking pilsner. And like I said earlier, when talking about a pilsner, it's a style of beer. If you're into pilsners, you drink pilsners. If you're into just beer, you might not drink pilsners. I mean, pilsners are Budweiser people pinky out. I mean, it's literally what it is in my mind. Is it's kind of like a highfalutin.
We did
Budweiser.
not get bitter beer face from Melissa on this one.
So I've been sitting here trying to think of like a movie that's forgettable.
Well, apparently you forgot it.
Like a good movie
well
but
done.
forgettable.
Well
I can't. And that's where I'm at.
Mamma Mia 2.
Any two. Any movie that's a two.
Yeah. Shrek 2.
Shrek 2 is pretty good.
Was it?
That's a good one.
Ooh, any Adam Sandler movie.
Yes.
That's,
That's tough.
Also
You might not be invited back
Sierra, I will admit, has turned me
into an Adam Sandler fan.
no, but like not a hater. Turned me from a hater into a not hater.
He has so many good movies. Like if we could do this just on Adam Sandler movies, we could
That's
hit
what this
he's-
is though, because they're all the same.
No,
Every Pilsner
no,
is the same.
no.
It's an
Go
Adam
watch
Sandler
Uncut
movie.
Gems.
No, I will exclude Uncut Gems.
I actually haven't seen that one.
Because Uncut Gems is fantastic, and he is fantastic in it. But every rom-com Adam Sandler movie,
He does make a lot of the same. but
Leo
they're
was
fun.
really good.
Yes,
That's an
that's
Adam
Well, no,
But
actually, one of
every
your
rom-
favorites is a rom-com. The
50 First Dates.
no,
Just
the,
go with it.
The
Just
one,
go with it.
Yeah.
No, the
Blended.
one where
All this beer.
it's got the Hispanic.
Oh yeah.
cleaner, the
Spanglish.
Spanglish.
Spanglish. Yeah.
There you go.
It's another great
That
Adam
is
Sandler
that's
movie.
pretty good. That's the
I don't think I've seen Spanish, but
Adam
Adam
Sandler.
Sandler rom-coms.
Hustle.
That's this beer.
Hustle is
Not
another
a rom-com.
I'm just saying though. You said he does the same thing in every movie,
I'll qualify it with rom-com, but
but they're great rom-coms. Come on,
this is a great Pilsner.
that's good. I like that. Okay.
It's like
He
a
does-
good movie, but like
This is a good Pilsner, but
Yeah.
I don't know. if
I
this
think
is-
he's got quite a range. He's done incredible range of different characters when he does his stupid you know, Happy Gilmore.
Yeah.
I don't like Happy Gilmore, though.
Or where, huh?
I don't care for Happy Gilmore.
Well, I'm just saying that he doesn't suffer
Madison.
from always playing the same
Yeah.
character.
Well, I liked him in Caddyshack.
This is Waterboy.
What?
It was
Waterboy.
100%.
Yes.
Because this is quality
Oh, yeah.
H2O.
Yeah, this is Waterboy. Yes,
That's
thank
tough,
you.
but true.
Okay.
It's tough, but true.
That's where you open up a can of whoop-ass, right?
Paul Thomas Anderson
He
did a
doesn't
movie
do that.
Yeah.
with Adam Sandler. What was Paul Thomas Anderson, and that was kind of a romantic comedy. He did There Will Be Blood, but then I can't remember the name.
That's a good movie.
Well, right,
a good movie.
and he did an Adam Sandler movie.
How dare you equivalent?
Philip Seymour Hoffman was in the movie as well.
thank you.
So what the hell is the movie called?
So what movie?
I don't know, usually.
Adam Sandler was the lead. It predates There Will Be Blood. Philip Seymour Hoffman was also in it, and it was a kind of a romantic movie. But again, it was Paul Thomas Anderson, so it's not your typical rom-com. Anyway,
Is anybody really liking this beer? I'm just curious.
The Peanut Gallery, apparently. That would be my wife Alyssa, who usually does not like beer. This is another beer where it's like, if you're at a party and you open up the ice chest and that's all they have, you're gonna drink it. But if they have something else, you're probably gonna go for that, unless you are a Pilsner kind of guy or girl, Pilsner person.
Well, I think that's what's important about this podcast.
Fizzy's a Pilsner person.
I can see that.
You can't look at him and not laugh.
Yeah.
That look, it's
You
so
looking
good.
Adam Sandler.
Trying.
So I think that's, you know, you ought to make that point again, is that, like, if you're
It
at a
flips
party and you open the
It's not
cooler and
bad.
you see old CAZ, move on.
Well, so
I mean,
you know
that's
how
what
I
I'm
said.
hearing.
Ouch!
You know how I said Chismosa or the blonde ale belongs in a 6-pack?
Yeah.
This belongs in a 24-pack.
Oh, gee.
That one? I've never heard
Whoa!
That's great.
I think a
A
lot of it.
24-pack.
Yeah.
A case?
Punch Drunk Love. That's the
okay.
Adam Sandler movie with Philip
That's
Seymour
got-
Hoffman.
and that's like
Thank you,
high.
Sierra, for looking it up.
I just Googled.
Yeah, well, I'm not on your Wi-Fi,
I like this-
and there's no cell signal.
I'm
So.
sorry. Don't you have your own Wi-Fi here?
There was just a crazy rumor. I
That
don't
is
know.
on everything else.
That's why I asked you.
I was
people-
kind of happy to be disconnected.
people
You know?
are like-
My connection is through you guys.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Yeah, no, it's not. I'm not a pills guy though. That's part of it. But there are people out there that would really like. And as far as pills go,
I'm a
think it's
Pilsner guy, but this is not
Nothing
anything
special.
so.
Okay.
Sounds like an Adam Sandler rom.
Would you like it to go down? We're smelling.
I'm hammering that point.
Oh my god.
So we have what,
I'm
2
gonna,
beers left?
I'm gonna have to sit you down. Okay. So, and I'm doing this on purpose. I know which one I'm picking first. We're going with
It's a pretty can.
a pretty
Describe
can.
the can, Sierra.
It's got poppies.
So this is Old CAZ Superbloom. Now this is a West Coast double IPA, 8.4% and 40 IBUs. So we had the one way, which was their West Coast. Now this is, I think, the double version, if I'm not mistaken, kind of going off that. This is a what they call a
Do you want Wi-Fi?
seasonal beer, right? So
My
where
phone's like
one way RPX, the Czech Pills,
Nobody needs
Chismosas, and one we haven't touched yet are all they're you can get those all the time. They're always there. They just brew them all the time. You just keep them going. This is a seasonal, and we're gonna.
Can I get a
this one.
creak from someone? That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
That was like the
It
little.
was a small door.
That was the little kid. That was the little kid trying to get out and not wake mom and
It was
dad.
the doggy door.
Yeah.
My dog broke into my room last night and it sounded just like that. About 2 a.m. Fizzy's back.
So something was pretty fun though. As Sarah was pouring the
beautiful
beer, Fizzy's tail was almost like right in the glass. And
You like this one?
So some people get head, some people get tail.
Some people get both.
All right, the Superbloom.
okay, this is great art.
8.4. Wow.
Oh.
So not a lot of
Unique.
information on this one that I
This
got.
is
Oh.
interesting.
It is interesting.
Oh, mom gave it
Okay.
a face. I think it's the can. No matter what, you can't drink something bad out of this can.
It's not bitter.
Alyssa, you have to look at the can
Oh, I'm looking at it. I love
because it's like a West Coast IPA and it's all West Coast flowers.
It's perfect.
All right,
Superbloom. You
Superbloom.
got poppies and lupin and
Can you?
Really good.
Is there a definition for what classifies as a super bloom? I mean, we kind of call it a super bloom here when we get a really rainy year, and it's just the wildflowers are
It's like
crazy.
6 more flowers than a mediocre
Superbloom.
Okay. Yeah. Exactly.
This is doing something to my tongue that none
West
of the other
Coast
ones.
double IPA.
It's that head.
Even the triples, I'm not used to this. It's just it's hitting
This
something
is
in my
better
tongue.
than their triple. I'll give it that.
Yes.
Here we go. Superbloom Double IPA is back just in time to kick off the weekend. This double IPA is fermented dry with our house California ale yeast and utilizes a ridiculous DDH of both New Zealand and American hops. I think that's a dry double hop is what they're trying to say there. So that means when they do
They were
the
using code. You
the
cracked
ferm-
their code.
I did.
Yeah.
Well, I brewed once or twice. So when the dry hop is when basically the boiling and everything is done and they're into the fermentation where the sugars are being turned into alcohol, which is what we all love. They've got the hops in there and they just set it in there, and so a double means they pulled it out and put another set in.
You're being really good.
These varietals really push the tropical complexity while showcasing plenty of grapefruit and lemon lime citrus character.
For sure.
So
I do think it's bitter. You say it's not bitter?
It does. Well, maybe a little bitter, but it's not dry, I should say. It doesn't dry my mouth
Yeah.
out at all.
It tastes bitter, but not drinking it.
Not enough to take away from the I get the citrus really
This is
hard.
the most interesting beer so far.
Yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Most dynamic. Most like
most
ooh.
interesting.
Do you like
beer in
it?
the world.
I do.
This isn't something I, could drink.
I do. A good
But
beer.
it's-
So this has a feel.
But I would order this.
This
I
has
would
a
order
feel like a
this.
triple.
This is a Wes Anderson
does.
movie. Like so much is going on. It's very simple, but so much is also going on that you're like, am I laughing? Am I crying?
It's
Like,
the Grand Budapest Hotel.
yeah, there's just a lot going
It's
on.
giving reality TV.
Ooh.
There's a lot going on, but really there's no plot, and that's okay. And we still
like that.
watch it. We love it.
I like
It's got a
that.
new one. I just saw a trailer for.
The
It looks like a Wes Anderson movie.
It's giving Survivor. It's giving Survivor. Like there's only be one winner.
It's Wes Anderson.
Well, no, I know. I'm just.
Yeah.
I was.
Oh, is that
I was
out now?
teasing
Is that
you.
out?
No,
I was
end of the
teasing.
month.
Anytime you see a trailer for a Wes Anderson movie, you know it's a Wes
immediately-
Anderson movie.
Oh,
It does. It does
absolutely.
immediately
It has a
tell
look.
you it's a Wes Anderson movie.
We Noah and I covered the
Moonlight Kingdom.
Moon Knight Kingdom, and then we also
a good
covered some of the
movie. Great
shorts
movie.
that came on Netflix.
Oh, that's
yeah,
right.
shorts.
The sugar.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta see those.
Yeah, check out Netflix. There was like 3 or
They're
4 shorts.
The
that
one
were
that
released.
was I can't.
Little
Doctor
15
Strange
movies.
with Cumberbatch.
Benedict.
Come on, you always come up with a different name than that.
Bigger dick.
Bitter Dick
Bigger
Butterscotch.
dick.
Yeah.
Bigger dick butterscotch. That's a great name. That's his username in Fortnite.
Oh, that would be good. That'd be good. Yeah, there's one with him in it. That's a Wes Anderson. It's incredible. This reminds me of a triple. It
Yes.
has a heavy mouthfeel so it brings that heaviness to it. But it's got so much hops coming off of this. It's like you know they double hop this motherfucker.
It seems unique though. It's not the traditional hops that we're used to. I'm kind of. What hops did they say it was? Did you already read up on this? You said it was a California yeast.
Cat thing.
Yes, they called it a California yeast
okay.
from their. I got that off of their Instagram.
Okay.
Don't mind us, Wilson. There's not actually a live stream. You're good, dude.
Cat over there going
Carry
to
on.
town.
Carry on.
Yeah, it's with their it's a house California ale yeast that they use. So I think this is like when we got into our brewing. Our friend Jeremy, he got into yeast. He was saving the yeast from one brew and building it up and getting it going and and so yeast is a big part
I
of
remember
brew.
doing like you get the little thing to spin to kind of get it worked up ahead of time.
It was kind of one of the most
the same
scientific
one.
sides of the prep for
Yes.
brewing. I think that we got into, which I thought was very interesting when we got into it because between the three of us, right? You had Steve, our friends, the Kincaids, Jeremy and Renee. They got into these. You got into kind of the temperature control.
I was doing the
equipment.
lagering. I was trying.
And
to
I was
go
like,
with
I don't care about all
different-
that. I want to know about hops, and I got all into hops. And between the three of us, we really covered like 90% of all brewing, where we were able to help each other, and it's the best way to do it. So this to me though screams that double dry hop. Like this is telling me that they threw so much hops at this, which is one of the reasons beers. This could be a money losing beer for these guys, and that's why people don't do triples a lot. Is because typically they lose money when they brew triples because of the amount of grain they have to use.
And they have to like waste a lot of the grain.
All grain is pretty well. All grain is used. Wasted, not necessarily, depending on, and I know a lot of the local ones, and I think CAZ is one of these. They have.
But it does. I'm sorry. Does it take a lot more
yes.
grain to make it? That's what
think about your basically all they're doing is they're abstracting the sugar from the grain to get the alcohol level. Mm-hmm. So the higher your alcohol level, the more grain you need.
You need, right?
Yeah. So to do a triple and a double and stuff like that, you need higher grain levels. Now, what I mean by not wasting it is most of these places, and this is what I really love about the local breweries, is they work with local farmers and they give them their grain to feed to their animals. So this goes into pig feed and cow feed and other, sheep and other things like that. We've used our grain in the past to make pretzels. We've used it in dog food and chicken. Most of the time, my chickens got most of my grain when we fed brewed. So it's not necessarily a complete waste. You find a way to work with others to transport, and stuff like that. So
most important, Sarah, do you and I like this?
Yes, we
do?
We like it.
Okay, so yeah,
we like it.
Good.
Yeah,
for West
your
Coast
dad
style.
has become a we with your fiance.
Yeah.
We decided that a long time ago.
Yeah, that
We
was
actually
it was a mutual decision.
The last podcast. Somehow,
These two are a we.
that in the divorce.
in the divorce.
Sierra gets
In
the
the divorce.
That was if it came up.
If they get divorced,
We haven't really talked
in the
about
settlement
That
talks,
wasn't in my marriage contract.
Yeah, we haven't
And that's okay because I put in a.
But I fear
provision
maybe
for
it should be.
50% of Seth.
Yeah.
I get visiting rights.
we
Okay,
haven't,
I love
we
that.
haven't actually had a prenup, but apparently Sierra gets my dad in the divorce.
Yeah.
Which I did the deductive reasoning and realized which parent I got. And
And what?
what?
Nothing. Yeah.
So if you're listening to this podcast, write in and we will back you up on that. You know who you are.
Yeah. There's no prenup, but there are 2 podcasts now.
All right, so that leaves us with one final beer. And
Free Craig.
yes, and I'm almost glad this ended up.
Free Craig.
Dad, can you do the creek?
Oh, I'm gonna do I gotta do the creek and open it. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, hang on. Before you do that, I just want to say I'm really glad that
was very
the Superbloom was our 9th beer because it's so flavorful and it's so unique that even in our now buzzed stupor, we still were able to
Without a
appreciate
doubt.
it. Because if it was our first beer, all these other beers would have seemed so simple compared to it.
I honestly don't
point,
think.
yeah.
I don't think we're all that buzzed. We were this way when
Speak
we
for
started.
yourself.
Speak for yourself. No,
Yeah.
not all head on that one.
Yeah.
Well, yeah, there is a difference between drinking all triples and getting to this point.
That's also
and the
good.
way
I
we
get
are
enough
doing it.
head.
Yeah,
Typically.
so
We go for the actual
That one
pour.
needs to come back. Go ahead and just pour it. I'll get it back.
I've seen what I needed to see.
All right, so this
Beautiful.
is one of my favorite beers.
Just light
In
head,
Sonoma County.
all body.
Free Craig.
what I
Like when
want.
we go to the hockey games, and I know CAZ is going to be there when we go watch the Growlers play. I'm begging and pleading that they have Free Craigs.
And they don't always.
No, they don't. Which, if you're listening to me, get Free Craigs at the games because holy moly, this is one of the best beers in the area.
It's juice. Here, I think there is some.
There is some
Yeah.
wordage.
The free Craigslist business model is the heart of Old CAZ beer. Bootstrapping our way into the brewing world, we've tirelessly scoured free Craigslist and used the equipment market to build our brewery. And from what I understand, this is true. Like,
Yes.
Old CAZ was founded on
Godspeed.
unwanted brewery equipment that they found on free
Really?
free Craigslist.
Not only that, but they
I
had
didn't
to
know that.
find a way. Like a lot of the stuff wasn't working. They had to like re-engineer it,
Yeah.
reverse engineer things, fix it, get it going. So they were doing everything they could to save every penny they could on
Really?
equipment to
Yeah.
put the money back into the beer.
So
Yeah,
Free
so-
Craig is from
Free Craig's is a reference to Free Craigslist, which is where they got a bunch of the brewing equipment to start the brewery. Everything from taproom essentials, office furniture, and even a massive brewing system was rescued from the scrappers and are refurbished to better the new condition. Our brewery is proof that Free Craig's is evidence that hard work, penny pinching, and creativity rivals even the deepest pockets. Enjoy the fruits of our labor with this tropical hazy IPA showcasing Simcoe,
Amarillo.
and Centennial and Eldorado hops.
I think a cheers.
Actually, I think Mike is about to cry.
I know, I'm about to, but I
This is a man who only buys cars from Craigslist.
exactly.
So
He's like, amen, beer equipment on Craigslist.
It does, because like I went to Rancho Murrieta to get my last car from Craigslist, so you know.
Nice. I want to read this. This was off of Untapped. It says, this mantra is exemplified by the filtering by the legendary Free Craigslist page. One of the few things we like as much as our beer, we wanted to step away from our West Coast IPA's crisp, dry characters for Free Craigs and make something a little softer and more tropical. We used the London Ale yeast strain for a fruitier, sweeter, and beautifully hazy beer to ensure this. Further these characteristics, namely haze and mouthfeel, a large ratio of oats was used in the mash, which works amazingly to soften the hop harshness and add some balance. So, yeah, this is, the grains that go into this. Interestingly enough, I was talking to the guys at Hen House. One of the things that they'll do is they'll get a beer they like, and they're like, okay, let's look at the grain we used. What can we do to change that up slightly to get different variations? And so that is the part of the reason that I love the fact that they used an oatmeal in this to smooth it out and stuff like that. So
it feels smooth, but I'm really far from the mic. Sorry, this editing is being awful. It's smooth. That's what I said.
It's interesting that when
more than one word to describe it.
I had more words and then I laughed once I realized no one could hear them.
She's thriving.
But when you drink this after you drink the Superbloom, it feels like there's not much going on. So I think it's unfair to kind of put them back to back, because to me, I think this is a beer that I would enjoy, but I'm not getting much from it.
I agree with you,
Steve.
Yep.
I'm with Steve.
So Steve, real quick, grab that Superbloom can. I'm looking at the bottom here, and it says 6.9 ABV. What is that one?
8.4.
8.4. So quite a bump there. What is the IBUs? I got 42 for this.
40.
Interestingly enough, that has a lower bitterness.
Yeah, wait. This is considered more bitter than the Superbloom.
Yeah.
Which is a West Coast, and this is a hazy, which surprises me. And
it is more bitter.
I could taste that, yeah. And that's.
You think this is more bitter?
I do too.
Put them side to side. I actually.
I disagree. No, I agree with your take, Steve. This is This is a great beer, but when you drink it after the Superbloom,
it's kind of
I'm really glad we had the Superbloom.
You know what this is? This is 4th of July night. You go out to the fairgrounds and you watch the big firework explosion, and you go home and your dad lights off a smoke bomb, and you're like, "Are snakes?" And you're like, "Dad, what the hell are you doing?" Like that. We just saw, America the Beautiful, and you come and give me smoke bombs and snakes and a spinner flower. This is not the same.
Yeah.
Which is bad. I love Free Craig's, but I think you're right.
I think it's a testament, in my opinion, actually, to how good Superbloom is, because I've had have you guys, who's had Free Craig's before?
Well, and it's one of my favorites.
For those at home, we all raised our hand.
The majority of people here have had Free Craig's before.
For the live stream.
And we all acknowledge that Free Craig's standalone is an excellent beer.
Yes.
And so I think this is really a testament to how good Superbloom is, that it completely the
I say
following
tomorrow
act.
we go to Old CAZ and we get Superbloom off tap just to see if it's that much better.
It's just so much more dynamic. Like there's so much happening in Superbloom.
I wanna,
Initially, during, and after that none of the other ones have had.
Maybe we need to have the Pilsner to clean
First.
our palate.
No,
then-
peanut butter pretzels.
Peanut butter pretzel.
no, I want to do the one way and the
I think
Free
what's
crate.
crate.
Yeah,
See,
amazing
Yeah,
about
we'll
Old
do it.
CAZ
I'd love to get the thoughts.
is
Okay, there we go.
I've had a beer at Hen House I do not like. I've had many at Lagunitas I don't like. I've not had one at Old CAZ that I do not like. Chismosa is not my style, so I'm gonna ignore that one. But it's still,
coming close.
but
I
it's
get you, I get
good.
you.
But they don't make a they're always all enjoyable and very, very good. And so I think like sitting here, I've been trying like how would I rank these? Honestly, it would depend on the day. There's certain
No,
ones
I'm
I
with
would
you.
Yeah.
like better one day than another, and I don't think there's
Temperature
That,
has.
that's a damn good plug for Old CAZ. I think
Yeah.
think we got to take a little snippet of that and send that to them and get some free beer out of it.
Day,
My
it's
name
also
is here,
scenario.
Overton. Keep it behind the counter. I live a mile away. I'll be there
On foot.
on foot.
on foot.
Yeah, we walked there.
No, you. Oh my god.
We'll send you our engagement photos with your sweatshirts.
Walk there. Oh my
I
god.
have to say, I mean, we've got
Danger.
a beautiful property now, and I'm really happy about that. But I'm a little bit jealous of where you guys live, because when we went on those scooters, and I was like, oh my god, how cool would that be just to go to the brewery every night on a scooter
Yeah.
and be able to go home?
I'm just saying the house across the way from me is for sale.
You lived
You
around
can still scooter from my house.
you were like, you could
I
walk
know.
the fog belt.
I did. That was my
Yeah.
was my exercise when I had my knee replacement.
Wait,
I mean, we enjoyed it enough that we put the sweatshirts on for our engagement photo shoot.
You did. I do. I do.
The
remember
biggest
that,
compliment of all.
Biggest compliment.
what's funny is, Old CAZ was
Yeah. A shithole for a while.
Noah's words, not mine.
Oh, no, it was. I will
There
go
are
with-
two breweries in Roanoke Park, Parliament and Old CAZ, and I always loved Parliament, and so much of that was because I preferred
Location,
Parliament's
location.
And then when Old CAZ moved to a mile from our house,
And it's a great venue.
wild how much a location can be
So-
like, oh, this is
I've
this
had-
is the spot. And they've been, we went for the grand opening. They've been so incredibly successful, and I think it's just a testament to if you bring good beer to a populace that
Likes
just
beer.
to a populace, they don't even have to qualify that. It's gonna work, and I'm so happy for them.
Do you go to? Is Bear Republic still in River Park?
It is not
No.
anymore,
But
so
it's
they
getting
closed.
replaced.
They did.
It is, yeah. The people that own Brewster's
They're
bought
still
that
there.
location.
Oh.
But no,
be
Bear
good.
Republic is
That
no
could be
longer
cool.
in Roanoke Park. Bear Republic was a great spot too.
But that's a different business model.
Yeah.
It is.
Now, the reason I say that the Old CAZ old location was a pile of shit, because it was.
It was.
It was in an industrial park. It was tiny. It was the way it was built. And this is coming from me
It was a
personally.
tasting room so that they could brew their beer. They
Yeah,
could
no,
brew
it was
sort
great
of
for them
space,
brewing,
yeah.
but you go in there, and if you're like me, I'm very sensitive to loud noises, and that place, you couldn't talk to anybody. And I remember the first time I went there was because a guy I work with has Camacho's barbecue. If you want barbecue in Sonoma County, find Camacho's because it's the best barbecue out there. I have to say that he's my boss.
No, it's good. Don't say that.
No, but he was
spicy
there.
for me.
He was there, and so that's why we went to Old CAZ. And I went in there and I was like, "Fuck, I really like this beer," but the noise in the side, the tasting area was so bad. I was like, I can't be inside. Their new location is so much different and so much better and so nice that you take good beer, good location, and you just amp everything up, and they are killing it, and it shows in everything.
Well,
I mean,
that whole business park kind of thing or whatever it is,
Yeah.
it's really cool. I love that whole setup there, and having Old CAZ there is just absolutely great, and it's comfortable there. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? Like what I really like, because it actually has like this nice breeze that comes through there, which you didn't get that at the old place. It was just always hot, and
it was small.
yeah, it just wasn't good. But this new place is just it's always crowded. It seems like
Always.
Which
Always
is
crowded.
great.
Unless
is
you're
great.
there at like 11 a.m., then it's not, but it's filling up.
And if you're drinking at 11 a.m., you're a hardcore.
Thank you.
But no, I'm super happy for them because I do love their beer. I agree with Sierra. I've yet to have a bad beer.
Right.
Even out of my style, the Czech Pilsner is not my style. Still a good Pilsner. The Chismosa, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I wouldn't pour it out.
Right.
And there are beers I would pour out or I would dilute with something else. None of these I would do that. And some of these I would go out of my way to find, like that Superbloom. I'm like...
And the other thing I'd say that there's, there are obviously a lot of beer garden, if you want to call it, places, tap, whatever you want to call it in Sonoma County. And, I'm a little bit biased here, but it's not full bias that, like, whenever I go to Old CAZ, I'm immediately happy. Just, like, seriously, just being there. I like the feel of it. I like everything about it. And, like, Russian River, I like Russian Brewery in Windsor's nice and stuff, but it doesn't have...
It doesn't have that same feel.
It does. It's like, to me, it's the perfect size where it has a little bit of intimacy, but yet it's big.
The other thing I saw, and I was stalking their Instagram account, and one of the things that came across, and it was like the reviews of it, they were talking about the staff at Old CAZ and how friendly and how interactive they are. And I have to admit that that's 100% true. When we went last time, I think it was when we were getting the Power 10 was the last time I was there, going up and just like, they're like, hey, what can we get for you? It was like, those that are old enough to remember watching Cheers, there's something about watching Cheers in that opening song where it's like, where everybody knows your name. And it's like that, you just feel like you got a second home, and Old CAZ is kind of place like that.
Yeah, and there's a difference between kind of this pretend customer service and a real genuine feel that people that work there just like working there, and they're going to share that with you. That's good. I haven't been to this.
The new one.
So
it's funny. I was thinking about it today when I was reading some of the stuff and I was stalking their Instagram. I was like, when I retire, that would be a cool place to go. Just get a part-time job of like pouring some beers and shooting the shit with some people. How fun would that be?
I was thinking
it would be a fun job.
Until Old CAZ opened this location, my favorite place to just go get a beer and hang out was the Petaluma Hen House.
Yeah.
Because it's so casual, just the same vibe. So casual. I think even more laid back than this Old CAZ. But when this opened, it was like, oh my God, you captured all the best parts about the Hen House in Petaluma with just a little bit more energy. And I just think they nailed it. And I mean, Sierra and I we would go for walks, and it seemed like they were building that out for like 2 years. We were just licking our chops, like because they were building it and they had plywood around the construction area, and it said Old CAZ coming soon, and it was like, oh my God, Old CAZ is coming to our backyard. This is like the most magical thing, and it's so cool that it just lived up to everything we hoped it could be. It's absolutely packed all the time, and I just think it's a testament to...
It's a delicate thing to maintain, because they've got to keep the product good, because once they start going kind of more like mainstream, like Lagunitas did when they went with
I feel like that's what's happening to Hen House right now.
Well, there's a danger. It's
I know.
And when you have an opportunity to go mainstream, you have a choice. Do I want to make some money and be able to sell this or something like that, or do I want to just stick with the product that I do what I love? And that's a choice that everyone has to make sometimes, and that's okay. But I think right now, one of the reasons probably why you like the place so much is because they know they make good stuff.
Well, they're still the neighborhood brewery, kind of like Fog Belt was in from where we moved. Fog Belt was for us a little bit, where we kind of knew the people a little bit because we were there enough and things like that. Yeah. Hen House was that for a while. Now, granted, I've fallen off going there as much. I'm sure they've grown quite a bit too. So, it goes through those things. But we are spoiled in this area with the amount of breweries that we have, the amount of good breweries we have.
Yeah.
And this is fun. I'm glad we did this one. This is kind of an offshoot of our Big Beer podcast, which we really enjoy, where we go and get all of the big beers. this is a brewery spotlight where we just spotlight on one brewery.
This picked a good one too. It's going to be hard to.
There's still some great ones out there. Hen House is another one. We've done it before, but there's things like Parliament was another one. There's a lot of other good breweries that we could really tackle, and so I'm looking forward to doing that again.
Yes.
Now I know we've done movies for most of these. If you had to pick a movie or show for Old CAZ as a whole, what would you?
Ooh.
Friends.
Interesting.
I like it.
That's a good
one.
Yeah.
She got that like that.
It was just from all of.
Friends isn't a movie. What the hell?
He said.
Well, I
Friends.
did say show.
Or show, Steve.
I did say show.
Gosh.
No, I get that because it's like we were talking about. You go there and you hang out with your friends, and I mean, they all went to the Central Perk. That was their spot. Old CAZ could be that.
I'd go Cheers.
That's 100% what I was kind of thinking. Cheers. That spot.
Everybody
now,
knows your name. It's that feel.
Yep.
You're right. But Friends, that was like the Friends equivalent in back.
for us old people.
For us old people, yeah.
Yeah, I get it. Yeah, no, it's 100%. I like it.
I think I'd go with a director, someone like Scorsese or something like that. If you look at the breadth of their work, all the different things, he's known for a lot more of his violent kind of gangster movies, but he's done such a wide variety of things. And just to Sierra's comment, how even though like everything here, everything is good. It's
just
at
like
an
Adam
elevated
Sandler
level, and
I'm gonna go with The Dark Knight because the first one was good, great. It was Chris Nolan, Christian Bale,
Batman Begins,
great. And frankly, their original brewery was great. They had made good beer, and then they moved here, and it was like everything got better. And that was The Dark Knight, and so I'm going with The Dark Knight.
Interesting.
But I agree.
Like
but I like the director. I would go with Christopher. Well, he's my favorite director. So
Christopher Nolan.
I like him.
Yeah.
He's pretty solid. I like though that pretty much all of his movies have some twist on time.
He's very scientific in his
Yeah.
approach to directing.
But,
See, now,
good call.
when you talk about a director, to me, and this goes along with what we said about all the beer, I'd go with Spielberg. They haven't really put out a stinker.
And Spielberg has not put out a stinker. I'm going to challenge you on that.
Well, I mean, what I'm not saying no. There's a difference between
Did
a
you have the
stinker.
Pilsner?
Huh?
I'm not saying they're all blockbusters.
Well, I'm basing this off what Noah said. I'm just I get.
Do you know what I mean? They're
Spielberg was my childhood, director.
about that
with
before.
all.
Yeah.
I'm not saying everything he's
Jaws
done is like the best and he can do
Raiders,
no wrong.
All-Star, my favorite movie. of all
And
time.
Old CAZ, we're not saying that they can do no wrong.
It has nostalgic feel and
Czech, the Czech Pilsner is not our favorite.
But as a
Chismosa.
Pilsner, it was good.
Yeah, and Chismosa, if that's what you're into, that's what you're into.
That's what I'm into.
I'm just saying, Superbloom, I mean, we're talking E.T. It's out of this fucking world.
I didn't know you were a big E.T. fan.
Come on, dude. I don't even like peanut butter candy, and I'll eat a Reese's Pieces just because of the movie.
We were Elliot's age when that movie came out.
I know.
I dressed up in in the long underwear and the.
I'm trying so hard not to yell nerd right now.
I was a total nerd. No, he had a red hoodie. Anyway, yeah.
No, but that's what I mean is when you think of Spielberg, he just puts out so many good movies. I mean, we did hit one of his not so great movies not too long ago.
Yeah,
Which was that?
His
last one. That
his
was
retro his what would you call it? Autobiography kind of
himself. Yeah. Well, that's what
I'm glad I
autobiography.
didn't
Yeah.
see it.
Don't. It's not worth it.
No,
just listen to the podcast. You get everything you need from it.
Okay.
Well, we were podcasting on
It's
the
free.
Academy Award nominations, so we just had a little blurb on
Yeah.
it. But yeah, neither of us were very impressed.
Yeah. Actually, I will say there is one actress in it that was very impressive. The rest of it was kind of bullshit, and Seth Rogen. So,
But I think even that movie, you and I both, well, you especially actually gave props to Seth Rogen in that.
yeah, he's good in
Yeah.
that because he's not himself. He's actually
Acting.
It's true. But yeah, that's what I mean is he just doesn't put out horrible things, and some of his stuff is so iconic, and that's what I think with these beers. You know, RPX, great, and that's a base beer. That's a beer you can get any day of the week, right? You can go into Safeway and find beer. You can go to the brewery and get it on tap. Great beer. We talked about the One Way, West Coast IPA. That was, you know, I compared it to what was the grandfather of IPAs, the one that set the mark. And we said it's like Lagunitas Point 2. It's just better. So I mean, these are their base beers. Chismosa. Some of us really liked it, and that means if you like that style of beer, that's probably a good beer.
It was just one.
Just one. I'm not trying to throw stones. Free Craig's. Beautiful basic IPA hazy that if you like those styles, you're gonna love it. Don't drink it after Superbloom.
Don't drink any of these after Superbloom.
Right. I mean, but then we get into some of their
I think One Way is the only one that has a chance
to beat it.
Not to beat it.
Oh,
but
you
to
mean
be
we drink it after?
Enjoyed after
Right.
Yes,
Superbloom.
yeah.
But then we talk about their seasonals and some of this, like that Chismosa Clara.
That was good.
Oh my God, I would chase that beer.
Yeah.
Superbloom. Holy crap! I don't think I've ever given as much props to a West Coast IPA than I have to that, because that
kind of blew me away. I'm going to call that the
blew
Brock.
you away?
That's the Brock Purdy beer.
the Brock.
Wow.
Who just got
You mean-
$53 million a year,
You mean nobody knew who he was, so he
And
did
that-
really good with a great
and now
running
he
back?
just signed a 5-year, $265
He
million
made money off
contract.
a running back that hopefully, God, for you guys, don't get hurt.
Well, the 49ers are kind of doneish now,
Yeah.
given that all their money's going to.
But I mean, the
Superbloom.
fact that there's so many good beers outside of their seasonals are great, their regulars are great, their can art for being basic is also.
I think they've
Sometimes
changed that
pretty good.
recently because they have traditionally been very plain. In
Well,
can art.
all their regulars, right? Their standard beers, right?
Yeah, they're all
RPX,
plain.
They're all just one color for the most part, but their seasonals, they're kind of coming out. Like I swear,
Ran out of colors.
This Midas 76 to me, this blonde ale, I love the can art, and I don't know. Maybe it's because I was, in the military. Maybe it's because I love the flag. But I'm like, I love this fucking can art.
This.
The chill.
Mike, no.
We talked a lot of smack about that one.
Remember, I said their standard.
Put it back in the
ones are
line.
Basic.
Back
Right?
in the
They only
line.
had so many colors they could go with, and yellow would look bad.
What's cool about Old CAZ too is they're kind of following the henhouse model of bringing some of their successful beers back.
Yes.
Because that's one of the things I've always said about henhouse is like you go, you love this beer, and you go the next week and it's not there.
Yep.
And it's like, okay, it's okay, just be patient because if it was good,
It'll be back.
It'll be back. And they're actually now starting to bring some. I don't know how many of these beers, but I know at least the Chismosa Clara, and that's the only one I know for sure is a bring back. They're coming back around to them, which is cool.
So I got it.
Nebula was one. and-
That's right, because it was from their beer week. Was
So I've just thought of a question, and maybe I'll hear from Seth and Sarah first. Is that what I like about Old CAZ, or do you feel like you're part of Old CAZ?
No, because I've seen people who are, and we are not.
Okay.
There are some super fans. That's what
Yeah.
Sierra's getting at. But yeah, I do, because in the sense that I'm from Rohnert Park, and it's cool to see a homegrown Rohnert Park brewery be successful, and they have
And they own Rohnert Park. And they
They
own
own
You
Rohnert
know what I
Park.
mean? Like they own the fact that like they
You know,
admit they're from Rohnert Park.
Yeah, the RPX. It's like
You know?
Rohnert Park Expressway.
Right.
Like
right.
this is the road, and so that's cool.
It's funny. So on their Instagram post for the Superbloom, they talked about they have I think it's Thursday night is student night. They're like, show your student ID, get half off. And I'm like, well, what night is for old lazy or old tired veterans? I'm like, I want to know what night that is. When do I get my half off beer? So we'll see if they reply to me.
And they're cool. I've introduced myself to a gentleman named Rob. He's, I know, one of the. I don't know if he's an owner or founder.
I thought he said he was.
I think he could be, but just super nice, super friendly, and I think I forget who was saying it, just about how friendly the staff was, but similar to Hen House too. Like I know Kenzie, you can agree.
I love Hen House.
When I go to Hen House, I'm like,
they know me. They're like, Kenzie, you want the sour? I'm like, correct. I mean, Alfie's my guy. Like, I just know those people.
And
it makes you feel good.
And they don't know me
the same
there.
Question for you. Like, do you feel like you're part of Hen House? You know what I mean? Like,
I don't think I'm a part of it, but I think I'm on the sidelines cheering
do you
loud.
feel a connection to it?
I do,
Okay,
yeah.
that's a better question. Do you feel a connection to Old Cats?
Yes.
I feel a connection to Old Cats, yes.
So
They're not connected to me yet, but I'm like, you can come in if you want.
Yeah.
I would invite them to our house.
The whole brewery.
Well, see, I guess this is the part.
We're closing down. We're going to my house.
I like taking people from out of Roanoke Park to Old CAZ.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
so like I do that. Like I pick people up at the train station and take them to Old CAZ.
Their new location is definitely that kind of spot. I think as nice as Parliament's is, I think Old CAZ
It's better.
It's
It's
no
100% better.
comparison.
I love Parliament.
It's probably one of the better local breweries as far as location. I know.
Especially because it's so
It takes a
peaceful.
minute to get used
Actually,
to.
location is not the greatest because it's back in the back area,
Yeah.
but what they've done with their property and what they've done with their
If
location.
you
with it.
live in Roanoke
It's
Park,
in.
if you live in South,
I'm just
East
saying what they
Roanoke
did
Park,
with like
it's-
the seating and stuff like
Yeah.
that.
It's just
very,
brilliant.
very nice.
It's
Yeah.
beautiful. Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
anyways.
And they're offering
We should
food.
talk about the beers then though too, like which ones.
I feel
All right.
like about 15 minutes ago, people listening to the podcast were like, wow, they still have 20 minutes left of this podcast and they drank all the beer. Have you been listening? You've listened to a podcast before where you're like, they finished the topic, but there's 30 minutes left in the episode. What happened?
Yeah, no, yeah.
Well,
Which is fine, but-
this is like really where all the wisdom comes out.
It's true.
This is where the super fans come out. They're the ones.
Post 10 beers, the wisdom is exposed.
Exactly. So we
But
don't-
no,
She is bare
Okay.
in the open
Well,
for
here's-
you.
Imagine what happened when we were drinking.
oh my god.
No, you got to listen to the first one is the most ridiculous fun. Like the first half, like we're dropping knowledge. The second half, I don't even know if we're speaking English.
Is that
Amen.
one where Jeremy got sick?
It's so much.
Oh my god.
Anyways, no, I like what you said there. Like, okay, so one of the things is we bought 4-packs of these, so we have basically we're all going home with a holiday 5-pack, and so we talked about how we're going to divvy these up, and I think what we're going to do is a snake draft.
Yes. Ooh.
And so
Oh.
since I'm the host, I'm going to take the number 1 pick.
Heck yeah.
Okay, and since it's just the easiest way to do it, we're going to go clockwise. That
Shit.
means-
Oh wait, snake draft.
snake draft.
All right. All right.
All right, I am going to.
I say shit because I would be last.
So here's the
For those
way
watching
this
on the
snake draft
not
works.
watching on the live stream.
It's like you're playing Pac-Man, right? And you got a bunch of lines of your dots. You're gonna go all the way left, and then up one, and then come all the way back right. So the person that gets the last pick gets the first pick in the second round. Okay. So, being that said, I get the first pick of the extra beers we're going to get. And I have to go with Superbloom. I got to take a Superbloom. Right? So,
And there's only 2 super blues.
there's only 2 Superblooms.
Oh no!
So, that means my number 1 pick is the Superbloom,
Oh.
which is telling you guys, out of all of this, what was my number 1 pick out of the beers. So now we go to
Me?
Kenzie. Kenzie,
Oh.
you get the second pick in our beer draft.
Ooh, I have to go with Chismosa Clara.
Oh,
nice.
I love that
Good
one.
choice.
I could have a dozen of those.
Good
Thank
call,
you.
Good call. All right. So, Sierra, you are now up with your third pick. do you
What?
thi-
I'm seeing if you would guess what it
the,
was.
the nod is not going well, except for those watching the
We'll take
live
the
stream.
Superbloom.
Superbloom is
So
off
sorry,
the-
Mike. Can you put it on the table? Thanks.
All right. So, Steve, now you are with our 4th pick. What are you taking?
Clara.
Oh, Clara is now on.
Damn! I think my guy.
Two
Cheers.
Claras and two.
So I'm just saying right away. That's saying what the top 2 beers of this podcast was.
Yeah.
Was the Superbloom and the.
Steve and I are on a pool, or at a pool. We're on a boat, and we are ready for summer.
My dad and I are
Mike,
field
you get
flowers.
I'm going with one way.
Oh, one way off the.
One way.
All right, Seth. You now get to do a 1 pick and a 2 pick.
Yeah. So my first would be Superbloom because there's only 2 and it truly it's special.
Yeah.
It really is.
Totally.
I like a lot of these beers, but the Superbloom would have been my pick.
Yep.
But my 2 because I'm on the snake. It's going to be a one way and a hazy Nebula.
Nice.
Oh, okay.
All right, there we
Golf
go.
clap, golf
Which
clap.
means if we go with that, that means the one way would end up taking our 3rd spot
Wow.
overall. Nebula with the first one off the board in the 2nd round. Mike, your 2nd round pick.
3 Craigs.
3 Gregs with the 7th pick,
Okay.
or actually that'd be the 8th pick.
Yeah. I would have taken another one way if I had the choice, but I didn't.
All right, Steve, what's your next pick?
The Nebula.
Oh, Nebula's
Yep.
now off the market.
I think Steve and I have the same taste.
I
Because that would have been my second pick for sure.
Spring
Sorry, it's
Fling.
gone.
Oh, I forgot about Spring Fling.
I forgive.
Good choice. Good choice.
Thanks. You're kind of good.
All right.
She's the team to beat.
I'm really pulling a spring vibe.
Yeah.
Superbloom, Spring Fling.
All right, Kinsey, what's your pick? You got 11th pick.
I'm gonna do the Midas 76.
Nice.
I'm ready for summer.
I think
All
everybody
right.
says thank you.
I'm having light beer summer.
Here we go. I have to follow my daughter in always. I'm taking that Spring Fling with my 2nd pick. Now, because it's the snake, I get to do my back coming around. And
Will we have more?
yes, we get a whole 5-pack here.
I am
gonna. I
didn't know that.
I got to go
Screwed up.
with the Midas. I got to go with that Midas.
Nice.
For the 13th pick in the
Me
first
and
and
Noah.
3rd round. Yeah, there we go. All right, Kinsey, you're up.
Let's see. What do we got left over there?
There's some Chismosa. There's the pills.
You know what? I'm gonna do an RPX.
RPX. Good,
Yeah.
Good call. Good call.
Old Faithful.
Good call.
Yeah, you know,
more
again,
Sierra.
we're going for a lighter beer
Solid.
summer.
Solid.
So,
Wait, are we missing some? Maybe not. That's fine.
We'll address it after we're done.
We'll do the Free Craigs.
Ah, shit.
I feel like I should give it to Steve. I feel like he's like in the bad position in the middle.
No, I'm doing great. I'm really pleased with it.
Okay, then I'll keep it.
But no,
Bring what my.
I'll do the Pilsner. I'll do the Pilsner.
Oh, thank you.
Oh. All right, Pilsner first off the board
Oh,
at
good,
pick
thank God.
16.
You thought
So the RPX fell to me.
Dang it.
Awesome.
I was
so
going
it's-
back and forth. That was my
so
other
it's-
choice, but so I'm glad I did.
Boy, this is
so
like
for
a real
me-
draft.
I feel like we're missing some beers here
It does seem like it.
because there's only 3 beers left.
And there are 3 Budweisers.
So there's 2 Budweiser.
No, I think we're
one
about right.
Budweiser.
What about the first one? Oh no, we got the
But you like that
Well,
one.
then I'm gonna go with 2 Chismosas.
my dad solves this problem by going to the bathroom.
It's
like,
gonna be
"That's
that pick, and then my next pick is another Chismosa because I don't really care for the pills, which leaves only the pills left.
Which I'm just going to give to Steve because don't you like pills?
I do like. Well, no, but I have one already.
I know, but I don't want it.
Who wants the pills?
We have a barbecue tomorrow. We'll
Yeah,
take
there you
it.
go.
Yeah.
All right.
Did everybody
Yeah,
get?
I got it.
I might have miscounted.
Yeah, we might have miscounted and but wait.
We're still happy.
Have a little lid. Is there an extra?
There's
We'll
more
figure
over
it
here.
out.
Right here.
And that's how he sees it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What does that mean?
I don't know.
We're still trying to figure it out.
All right, thanks for joining us. This was a lot of fun. We will come back with another brewery spotlight from I don't know when, but soon, hopefully. All right, good night.
Good night.